We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, everyone. Everyone looking fine.
I like you in black.
Thank you.
I like our new cups in black also.
I know everybody. Cheers. Cheers to
Cheers.
new cups.
All right.
And for this show. Very exciting.
Yeah.
All right, we have a really interesting topic I want to get to, and please chime in on our YouTube and on our app because it's a lot about what you guys are feeling right now. There's this big controversy. I don't know if you've heard about it going on right now in Canada. Now, it's all over this beloved news anchor. She's for Canadian TV network called CTV. Learn her name. It's Lisa LaFlemme. She's like the Diane Sawyer of Canada.
That's
Look
a
how beautiful
great
she
name.
is.
Stunning, okay? Now, after 35 years, Lindsay, she was recently let go by the network at the age of 58. She announced the news on Twitter, so let's take a look at her announcement.
On June 29th, I was informed that Bell Media made a, quote, business decision to end my contract, bringing to a sudden close my long career with CTV News. I was blindsided and am still shocked and saddened by Bell Media's decision. It is crushing to be leaving CTV National News in a manner that is not my choice.
Okay, so her firing happened after she let her hair go gray. Now, officially, the company said not that. It listed, quote, changing viewer habits as part of its decision. However, there are reports that the head of CTV News had asked at a meeting who approved the decision to, quote, let Lisa's hair go gray. Perhaps Lisa, since that's her hair. Companies are showing their support for Lisa, like Wendy's. In Canada, it swapped out its mascot's red hair for gray. And now this whole controversy has really sparked a lot of conversation about how older women face ageism, which is a lot more common than you might think. So get this, a recent AARP survey found 2 in 3 women, 2 in 3, over 50 say they regularly face ageism. Talk to me about going gray, what you think about that, and take it away from like the TV part of it. You're an accountant, you're a teacher, you're a woman, and you're over a certain age. Do you feel like you have to change the gray, Linz?
Well, I feel like society and everyone is with the times, and so jobs should get with the times. Like Mae Musk was recently on the cover of Sports Illustrated in a bathing suit with her beautiful gray hair, and she's drop dead gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So, you know, it's kind of odd that this woman, especially after a pandemic where we all, and many people specifically talking back to her career, had to do their own hair that were on TV and had that luxury of working from home and had to figure out what that looked like for them, since going to the hair salon, as we saw with Nancy Pelosi, was a big issue.
Totally.
And so women have to deal with this whole extra layer of hair, but then also as an older woman, then you have these people who are commenting and that it's time for you to go. When men do it, it's gravitas. When men get a little bit heavy, more heavy set, it's gravitas.
Or
and
gray.
Yeah, gray, heavy set, all these things that lead to you respecting their opinion more, or their analysis, or even their thoughts, specifically maybe as a news reporter or in any field. But when women do it, it's kind of like, oh, are you ready to retire? And 58 is really young.
Very young. Would you, I don't know if you're going gray, would you dye your hair? Because I know I would, because
That's honest.
I'm honest, and I know it's a visual medium, and I'm aware that there is ageism, and I think it's important to do so. Do you think you would, or would you let it go?
Well, I have like a couple strands and it's not enough to dye, so I just been leaving them. But I have a friend who's so beautiful to me that has, like, you know, when it grows exactly in a patch, and she has this beautiful patch on the side of her hair. Other than that, her hair is jet black, and I think that that is just so unique to her. And so, you know, hopefully there will be spaces that would allow me to choose whichever I wanted to do.
That's true. Al, may I ask you if you have faced ageism as a man? Because I know Lindsay and I, and every woman out there watching right now, just knows, just the younger you are, the fresher you look, all of this is bad, but that's the real way it is. Am I right? What do you think about for you?
I mean, just when we did the story, it's weird we're talking about hair, but I remember doing comedy when I got married early. I didn't wear my ring on stage because I didn't want to appear older to the audience. I wanted to appear like this young, fresh comic, and we're in this weird space in society where we always say we want the next thing, we want the next thing, but we also want expertise and we want knowledge of that workplace. So it's this weird place where you just have to decide, are we going to hire a young, attractive 22-year-old fresh out of college or, you know, school that is going to be very wet behind the ears and learning on the job, or do we want to have this person that's got knowledge and has experience and is ready to handle crises like it seems like we're covering on a constant basis? So when we look at hair, I think we also have to look at our society. And if you look just like at the terms, like when somebody goes gray as a man, they're a silver fox. What's the term for women?
Old.
I don't know.
It's old, am I right?
So let's fix that.
Yeah.
And when we fix that, once we heal our thinking, things like this program director will seem like very archaic, and there'll be new people to take their place that don't have those opinions about gray hair or tattoos or whatever else you do with your face.
I hope so. I hope
hair.
so. Well, there's more to this conversation because a lot of women who are over 50 find themselves in another big bind, especially if they're looking for work. So if that's you, let us know. A lot of employers say these women feel too old to hire, but too young to retire. So they're sort of stuck, right? Being left out of the workforce just because of their age. So what are women in this age group supposed to do? I feel it because when I turned 40, if I was going to be in LA, you were over. You know what I mean, in LA?
There's something to that as well.
There is really something to that. What do you think women can do to get the advantage back, to take back their own agency? And do you think this is real?
I mean, I'm embracing, like, I've always been like a grandma at heart. So like, to me, aging has always been something that I was looking forward to. I also had really amazing examples in my family of women who completely aged. Like my grandmother, she retired and then started her business, her seamstress business, as a retired woman from working sewing clothes for other people. So this is something that I'm like, just because someone else stops us, luckily we're in a position where we can have our own businesses. We all do things that where we make our own money. And so that's why it's always been so important for me to figure out what I have going on personally outside of like aesthetically what I'm doing for someone else and what, is making money for another company. It's like, what are you doing for yourself so that you can't be in a situation? Because I've seen them with my own eyes working in several big media companies. I've seen women get ushered off the stage way before the man did in many situations, local news and national news. And I've been like, whoa, she was still great. Right. And it was too early.
Right. And do you think you made that other production company or whatever it is you're doing because of a fear that might happen to you?
No, I specifically made it as a protection to myself to know that I know how to do more than just be a face for anybody. So it's important for me to understand everything about my industry so that I'm never in a position where I can't work. I always can work.
That's amazing. Al, what do you think about women that are too old and too young to retire?
I have to believe that once again capitalism will come to save the day, because what's going to happen is once you block off a lane and say that people can't go here, what it's going to create is this incredible job pool of eligible candidates, and other companies coming up will go get that talent that is sitting there probably undervalued, and so you can get them at a fair price for your company, maybe not even for them. But what is going to happen, no different than what we saw with Victoria's Secret. They said, hey, we're not making our undergarments for big ladies, and guess what, a bunch of companies are like, we will.
Fenty.
And how'd that work out? How'd that work out?
Victoria's Secret.
I think we're going to see the same thing with gray hair.
Interesting. And Keanu Reeves, I love that he's dating his girlfriend has bright gray hair. It's fabulous.
It's a color.
It's
it looks
a beautiful color. We love it. Coming up on DBL, it's been 25 years since Princess Diana died. And today, we're taking a look back at her iconic life. Plus, top secret documents on the floor, what the Department of Justice is saying about its search on Mar-a-Lago. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning provided by...
It's so easy.
Hey, just stop by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Like she looks so much better.
Sierra, over here, Lee now says, I am a manager in the food and beverage business. I had owners let me know to hire young, good-looking girls. So it definitely does happen. I have heard that if you're the face, even if like a drive-through, they want like young, good-looking, but that leaves out smart, educated,
but I do
hardworking.
see other businesses like they'll depending on the product, they will have like older, more distinguished women.
Name one.
Like a Mercedes or a Lexus dealership. It's not a 22-year-old leaning on a car. It's
usually a man.
It's
buying a woman a car.
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
No, I haven't seen a very young girl.
No, yeah, you're right. I haven't. Like Buick even to show you a 22-year-old
right.
woman.
It depends on who you're trying to speak to, but I think that now we're talking about it, Lindsay and Tori, and I think a lot of places are going to be like, oh, there's this untapped demo that we can either hire or market to with people that look like this demo.
Like CoverGirl figured that out with Elon Musk's mother.
Yeah. A little fun fact.
He had to be
with hip hop, as it pertains to 40 ounces.
I'm trying to figure out
40 ounce malt liquor was originally aimed at upper crust white.
But did they have a
working class
conversation with her
folks?
about
they weren't buying it, so they needed a pitch person to sell that to the neighborhood. So they would get black people like Billy D. Williams, who had credibility as a movie star in the 80s, but also had credibility in the white community, to transfer that over. Billy Dee was an older guy.
I mean, I guess that would lead
There's
them
always
to...
going to be a place in the market for whoever you're trying to sell to.
Yeah, someone to represent.
Yes, it will always take care of itself, and that's for as many problems as there are with capitalism.
Would it be more of a problem if they would
You're
ask
capitalizing on a gap in the market. And if
There's a vacuum there.
If there's a vacuum there, these people will be
my friend at East said
sucked
she
up
couldn't-
and used.
And also, you can sue. You can always sue.
Well, in Canadian laws, like broadcasting law.
Welcome back. So in a new court filing, the Department of Justice revealed that it sought the search warrant for former President Trump's residence in Florida after it got evidence that highly classified documents were likely concealed and that Trump's legal team falsely claimed that all sensitive material had been returned.
Why are you showing my house?
They also released this photo from Mar-a-Lago. It's all over the news today, showing a bunch of top secret and classified documents all over the floor. Meantime, the list of documents the FBI recovered from the president's home included some information on the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. And there's a lot of speculation now that this info on Macron may include intelligence on the French president's sex life. I feel like I'm in a soap opera. Trump reportedly bragged to some of his aides that he knew illicit details about Macron's love life, and now officials on both sides of the Atlantic are desperate to know if this is some of what was recovered. I also have to say, from being in D.C., when you see top secret, that's a big deal. When you see SC next to it or SC1, that is like next level top secret. You're not supposed to talk about what is that even about. That is national security, spies. That is where our informants are located in other countries. This is what worries me. If you're the party of law and order and for the military, this is trash to have on the ground that could really hurt some of our allies. What do you think, Linz?
Well, I think as we're trying to understand what exactly happened, what the raid was about, what documents were found, when we start talking about the leader of France, sex life, it seems like this is where the message gets lost, because to me, that's uninteresting to me.
Fair.
Is there something, when you said that there are people getting caught that shouldn't have been getting caught because of information being leaked, that's one thing. Protecting our national security, that's another thing. But when we're talking about the French, you know, the leader of France, sex life, it just is kind of like, this is why people start to make the whole thing a joke.
Totally.
That's what I feel like, that's the headline coming out of here. It trivializes everything.
I don't know, because when you think about what it would take to compromise somebody, you would need something embarrassing on them. You think about how I saw similar patterns with Jeffrey Epstein and Hugh Hefner. Mm-hmm. They both had these kind of mansions where rich, famous people would come and sow their oats. I'm sure some things were legal. I'm sure a lot of them were not. And I'm sure all of it is on tape.
Yep.
And there's a reason why Jeffrey Epstein is the most interesting figure for the public, but yet there's only one documentary about him that's got 4 episodes.
Yeah.
The Fyre Fest has 2 whole documentaries about it. And it's because the people that are on those tapes made sure that they that didn't come out, and that Mr. Epstein managed to hang himself amazingly under watch as America's #1 crime suspect at the time, with 2 sleeping guards. So there's a reason why certain sexual things do not come out, and there's a reason why people have those things. It's because it gives you incredible leverage. And so if somebody had this kind of information over the leader of France, what could they use that for?
It's a bargaining chip, right? It's a bargaining chip. And what I'm worried about, I agree, I don't want it to go to, oh, it's sexy time. I'm worried about our informants on the ground that are doing things that might be getting killed because of this information. Let's say none of it's in there. The fact that any of it was at Mar-a-Lago on the floor is wrong. It was supposed to have already been given up to the DOJ. Coming up on DBL, we're honoring Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death, how her legacy lives on.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. This always gets me. Her death shocked the world, but her legacy has never faded. Today, we mark, unbelievably, 25 years since the death of Princess Diana. Now, before we talk with our very own British insider, Stephanie Jones, let's just take a look back at Diana's remarkable life.
There was so much attention on me when I first arrived on the scene, and I had so many people watching me.
Before becoming the People's Princess, she was a 19-year-old nanny on the path to be queen. An astonishing 750 million people in 74 countries watch her walk down the aisle.
You're not worried about that 3.5-minute walk?
No, I go along with everybody else.
She becomes the pillar of both beauty and kindness.
The lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't.
Teaching her young sons to lead with their heart.
It was that love that even if she was on the other side of a room, that you, as a son, you could feel it.
But after 15 years of marriage, the royal couple separates. The press hounds her every move.
I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life.
Then, in 1997, the world watches as the unthinkable happens.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Devastation sweeps the globe. It's been 25 years since Princess Diana's death, but for some, it's a wound that will never heal.
I do regularly put in George or Charlotte to bed, talk about her, and just try and remind her that there are two grandmothers. There were two grandmothers in their lives.
Yeah, I have no doubt that my mum would be incredibly proud of me. I'm living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart.
What a special human being. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Steph, what was it like in England? I know this is hard for you too. The night she died, because I remember she at first was in an accident, then she said, what happened? And then it was like, she's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not just the people of the UK, the entire world was completely shocked. And let's just remember, she was only 36 years old. So young, leaving behind two very young boys and an amazing legacy, let's be honest. Like, we're now a quarter of a century later talking about her, the lives that she impacted. And I think it genuinely shook the entire world. Everyone was so devastated. And like, to this day, people are still like you, Tori, they're grieving. They're grieving.
Right. The emotion's right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of leads me to my question. Like, we're obviously upset over here on the other side of the pond. Like, how is England marking this day?
So right now in Europe in general, so people are laying wreaths, flowers, artwork at the site in which she passed away in Paris, and also outside Kensington Palace, which is where she resided in London. But these are from fans. These are from the public. This is not from the royal family, which I want to make very clear.
Yeah.
They said 5 years ago that they would be mourning Diana only in private now. So, which I think is a very fair decision for both William and Harry, because to go through that emotion on every anniversary, it must be horrendous.
Yeah. Steph, can I ask you, what would you be doing if you were in England today?
I think I would be like everyone else who will be watching the specials. There's going to be a lot of TV specials on her, commemorating her, talking about her achievements, her legacy that she's left behind, looking at, you know, her life and how it's impacted the rest of the royal family, because I think she definitely shook the royal family up in many ways.
Well, as Americans, we're always told that Princess Diana changed the monarchy. And we see some things happening present day. So did she really?
I really think she did. And it's gone both ways, in all honesty. As a British person, I am so fond of our royal family. They have done so much for the world, for the Commonwealth. They are incredible. And I think, you know, they are very, what maybe in America or other parts of the world they might not understand is, they've dedicated their lives to acts of service. They're very private. They don't like the limelight or paparazzi. And I think, just like Harry and Meghan, Diana decided she didn't want to be a part of that. She wanted to be free, especially when obviously her and Charles separated. And I think, you know, that was before social media, and the paparazzi went absolutely wild. And like, we could never have foreseen what would have happened, and the fact that they chased her ultimately to her death.
Yeah, they hunted her down.
Hunted her down.
Yeah. I had a question for you about that. One is, there was rumors she might be going to America, which is a lot like Harry. And I also wanted to know if you felt the Queen had a hard time showing emotion about Diana's death. Do you think she's learned the people needed her at that moment?
Well, and I mean, that is what the monarchy's about. They're not regular, everyday people.
Right.
They are the backbone of the Commonwealth. They don't air their dirty laundry in public. They are very private. They are, you know, they're not like us. They're not just sat around, you know, chatting about their personal lives. I mean, and that's what I mean when I say it's an act of service. They put themselves, their personalities, their own honest thoughts and opinions to one side and only show a certain image. And I think that for the royal family was a real battle. Like, how much do we show? Do we show emotion?
But she showed so much.
But does it make them look weak?
Exactly.
So I think it's a very hard thing. It's a very fine line, and the world loved Diana. She was the people's princess. People are still grieving today, and I think her legacy will live on.
Thank you so much, Steph, for that insight. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. The biggest plus to working out is good health, but the downside can be muscle soreness. So should you soothe the pain with a warm compress or cool it down with an ice pack?
I always wonder that.
I always have wondered this. So it's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. So experts say that ice can reduce pain and inflammation by decreasing blood flow to the affected area, and it's best for severe or acute pain, like a strained muscle. However, heat can soothe and heal muscles by increasing the blood flow and is better for chronic pain or injuries. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits has transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. And people speaking about Steph and Diana saying, I love hearing from Steph, says Rolling Trouble. And Just Me says, I'm waiting for an all Diana network on cable, maybe a sub-channel of Lifetime or something. And
it would be big.
It would.
Yeah.
She changed the world that much. She really did. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time's come today. Just stopping by to say, we're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we made for. We're made for this.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A veteran TV anchor says she was fired for letting her hair go gray. Are more and more 50-plus women facing discrimination at work? Well, this is awkward. Couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game. Is it the ultimate faux pas? Sharon Stone said no to Botox, but then got dumped for it? She's revealing what a younger man said to her after she refused to change her face. And looking back on the life of the late Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL, you guys. We got Lindsay Granger joining us.
What's going on?
Looking fierce too. I love it.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so there is something that I think that we all need to talk about it, because I know even though this is happening in Canada, we can all relate, especially to women over 50. There's a really big controversy, as I said, going on right now just over in Canada. It's all over a beloved news anchor for Canadian TV network CTV. Now, her name, there she is. She's gorgeous. Her name is Lisa LaFlemme. She's like, if I could compare her to anybody here in the States, like the Diane Sawyer of Canada. Well, after 35 years, she was recently let go by the network at the age of 58. Her firing happened after she let her hair go gray. Now, officially, the company said it listed, quote unquote, changing viewer habits as part of its decision. However, there are reports that the head of CTV News had asked at a meeting who approved the decision to, quote, let Lisa's hair go gray. Like, why? Who did this? Companies are showing their support for Lisa. Look at this, you guys. That's Wendy's. Yeah, iconic. Instead of like the mascot's red hair, they swapped it out for gray. Now, this whole controversy has sparked a lot of conversation about older women facing ageism, which is a lot more common than you might think. In fact, a recent AARP survey found 2 in 3 women over 50 ageism. Tori, we don't talk about ageism as much as we talk about other plights going on. And not to compare the, one to the other, but do you think that this is a movement that needs to happen? And let's move away from television. Let's just think about our peers, our mothers, our viewers in 9-to-5 jobs. What would you say?
I think the ageism or the ism is really there. I think people right now still want to have young, fresh faces, and they think gray equals old. But just for women, gray for men is distinguished and experienced.
Anderson Cooper.
Jeff Schroeder.
For real, though.
Yeah, but I will be honest with you. I'm in a visual medium, but if I started to go gray, I 1,000% would dye my hair because it exists, it's real. And we talk about sexism, we talk about fatism, we talk about other things. Ageism is looked over and skipped, just like many women of that entire generation.
Yeah, I think that's what the story highlights is every person watching's fear. As you get older, you look at this woman who is as distinguished in your career as you can possibly be, and you're fired mid-contract, seemingly just for your hair color. So you're looking like, if that can happen to her,
yes,
what's going to happen to me?
Al, yes.
You know, she probably has another landing spot because of her notoriety. What about me? I definitely understand that. I think, Lindsay, until we change how we look at age as a society, we won't see the difference, because like Tori was talking about, Jeff and Tom Brokaw, anybody, there's a million terms for men with gray hairs.
I mean, Dan Rather, we can go down the list.
They call them silver foxes, but there's no term for that for women. And once we change that, we'll change everything.
What is the term for women, Lindsay?
I don't know. I actually love when women get age and have gray hair. I think it's beautiful, but I'm, on an island with that idea. Actually not. I think society is moving forward with that idea. Mae Musk was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in a bathing suit with her gray hair looking beautiful. So I think it's just like these older executives that make some decisions that are on the back burner and not understanding and reading the room. Because I think specifically with women's hair, there's 2 conversations. Like, so you go into her job and aesthetics is part of the job. You can't deny that, and we can't sit here on this panel and act like aesthetics is not a part of a TV job. However, this is a woman who reported for 35 years, who covered the Iraq War, who's done so many many different things. Most recently uncovered a lot of stuff in Canada that really takes investigative reporting with her entire team.
Right.
And she's been notable for all these things. And a business decision was made because of her age only, is what she's saying. And so, you know, even though it's going to be hard for her, an uphill battle to prove, this is why a lot of people feel like they must be silenced, because they might not work again just for just stating how they feel and their arguments or grievances within the workplace. And so I think she really should go out there and do these interviews on CNN and speak her piece, because she is by all means qualified, young enough, and really good at her job, and should continue doing it.
It's a whistleblower.
Right, and if she's the one, to Al's point and to your point, Lindsay, who has so much accolade, and she's dealing with it, can you imagine someone who's a teacher?
Totally.
Or a waitress?
Right,
I mean, how
right.
often, you know, I used to work as a waitress in Los Angeles, and I remember, like, at 25, you felt that you were expired. So we have a lot of work to do, yes. Definitely there's been, I would say, progress for sure, but I think this is a movement that now more than ever, we need to kind of reframe that whole stigma of gray hair in the workplace.
Absolutely.
But there is more to the conversation, because a lot of women who are over 50, they find themselves in another big bind, especially if they're looking for work. A lot of employers find these women too old to hire, but then they'll also say that they're too young to retire. So they're stuck being left out of the workforce just because of their age. So what are women in this age group supposed to do? Tori, here we go again. Like, what are they supposed to do? I know I talked to, I'm going to leave the person's name out of this conversation, but a lot of districts, school districts right now, are hiring a lot of these young teachers coming in simply because they're cheaper.
Wow.
So what is that, how does that feel for some of the older teachers when they're being replaced by younger teachers because of the paycheck or the pay cut, I
right,
should
or the
say.
pay cut. What's so interesting to me, and you brought this up, so I want to jump to you on this, is what a loss. We're missing such a great group of people in the workforce. They're usually mothers or grandmothers. They know how to run a household. They know how to manage a pocketbook. They know how to keep control. They know how to multitask. They're educated. They have expertise. All these things. What a loss. And that it's an enormous group that is a vacuum. So
right, but from that loss, there can be a net gain. And what I mean by that is, you know, people have different feelings about capitalism, but it is the structure that we live under. And the one good thing that capitalism provides for us is there always is going to be a company that's looking for a gap in the market. And if there are women with gray hair or anybody with gray hair that's being discriminated against, that's just going to create a huge pool of talented people for you to hire for your company and overtake the other. We saw this with Victoria's Secret. They came out, we're unapologetic. We're not putting you big girls in our undergarments, so we get out of here. And what happened? A bunch of companies were like, we'll put you in our undergarments, and they realized what the average shape of an average human being looks like. And those companies surpassed Victoria's Secret, who I believe filed for bankruptcy at one point.
Yes, they sure did. They plunged like a V-neck bra.
Right. So capitalism does take care of a lot.
And there's some like irreplaceable strategies, ideas, personalities that someone who has a little bit more wisdom and experience can bring to the workplace or any place. And so, you know, when you think about, you know, I thought I knew it all at 25, but I would have loved to hire 34-year-old Lindsay as opposed to 25-year-old Lindsay. And I'm sure 50-year-old Lindsay will be even better. And so that's why I think people need to embrace not just bringing in the young kids out of college. Yes, we should support them, but to do every job where you have to be experienced and really understand it just for a pay cut will ultimately, I think, denigrate the business.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, no one's going to understand how to work with people in these settings, and just some life skills that you learn along the way about how to better navigate situations.
And we always talk about representation matters. A lot of those viewers, now I'm going back to this television show, a lot of those viewers see themselves in her.
Totally.
They know her.
That's the really strange thing about this. Their demo, I would think.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And how about the stigma of who let Lisa's hair go that way? Not did Lisa choose her own hair to go a certain way? I mean, the agency has even gone in that question.
Right. I know. Well, good conversation coming up on DBL. Can you believe it has been 25 years since the passing of Princess Diana? We are honoring her legacy today with a very special tribute, plus top secret documents on the floor. What the Department of Justice is saying about its search on Mar-a-Lago.
Closed captioning provided by
It's so Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Yeah.
Sierra. Okay, Tori, don't give any tips on what we were talking about because it has to do with something.
What we're planning or not?
Could we say at least what we're planning, Bert, or no?
No.
We can't even say the word.
Yeah, we're planning our Halloween.
Oh, we're planning our Halloween.
Yes.
I can say we're planning our Halloween. But going back to this conversation, I thought, Lindsay, that if we could have had more time to talk, I always ask about your great-grandmother. May she rest in peace. I can't imagine all the knowledge she had. How old was she?
106.
She's 106, and you interviewed
It's
her
almost
a
a
year
third
ago,
of this country's
right?
been
A year
around.
ago, you actually like interviewed her or no?
Well, I did it on her 99th birthday. Yeah, just to talk about, because I was like, you know, we all were like, ever since like 95, we were like, all right, like she's fully cognizant. Let's just like start paying attention to every, you know, being more blessed to have her here than just like expecting to see her every holiday. So 106, I was like, I didn't think she'd make it to meet my daughter or, you know, any of that stuff. So I'm just, that's why it was hard for me to be.
That's amazing.
It's a really strange thing, though, that we have these people. We always say that we want experience. I want to, you know, you always watch movies where there's like these young kids in the middle where they don't know what they're doing. And then there's this great pool of people that you can hire.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
But they won't hire them. It's such a strange thing, and I don't.
But is it Mikhail Gorbachev?
I don't understand why.
How do you say
I
Gorbachev?
don't understand where that comes
Well,
from.
usually it's just, I mean, I've been in buildings, let's say,
Find out
for
me.
TV stations.
I
A lot of
think it's
people started
Mikhail.
hiring, instead of like
Mikhail.
reporters who've been experienced and understand how to like get the
Mikhail.
local interviews,
That's
they
what
were
I thought.
hiring
Okay.
a lot of MMGs.
Yeah, Mikhail.
Meaning you're a
Okay.
reporter, producer in the field.
Right.
And it worked for a little while.
A person with a camera, basically.
Right, and then you saw that the content started looking a little sloppier.
Right.
People stopped watching, and so you see less people trying to do everything all at once, especially for the bigger networks. So you have to like balance it. Maybe one of those for every like
I
three
loved that when I used to
reporters,
go
so they
on,
can
I forget
teach
which
and learn,
show
bounce
it
off
was.
each other. They
It
can
was
stay on the
Megan
current
McKinn's old
events as a young person,
it used to be
and the older person.
Played aloof to that. There's no reason why I handed it to you.
Welcome back. In a new court filing, the Department of Justice revealed that it sought the search warrant for former President Trump's residence in Florida after it got evidence that highly classified documents were likely concealed and that Trump's legal team falsely claimed all sensitive material had been returned. They also released this photo from Mar-a-Lago showing a bunch of top secret and classified documents all over the floor. Meantime, the list of documents the FBI recovered from the president's home included some information on the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. There's a lot of speculation now that this information may include intelligence on the French president's sex life. Trump reportedly bragged to some of his aides that he knew illicit details about Macron's love life, and now officials on both sides of the Atlantic want to know if this is what was recovered. Lindsay, what did you think about the photo of the files everywhere, and then what do you think about the sex life of Macron, if that's even an issue?
Right, I definitely think that he shouldn't have those documents. Obviously, we have documents classified for a reason, and people on both sides of the aisle, and obviously in other countries now, want to know exactly why the search was conducted and what the findings were. But I think when you start talking about people's sex lives and the sex lives of leaders around the country, that's where you have a Fox News talking point. And now everyone's going to say, okay, so we went in President Trump's house in order to see what he had on the sex life of the French president. And it just gets convoluted. And this is what, like, gearing up as we come close to midterms and everything, that narrative that this is all nonsensical and all politically motivated. And so I think that's a tight line when this is the news peg coming out of what happened.
Yeah, you don't want to take it to a point in which it's all now become the P-tape or whatever it is in terms of like everyone can make fun of it like that. Here's the main thing that happened. One, the fact that there were any top secret documents in Mar-a-Lago at all means guilty. Immediately, that should not have been there. Second, if you see top secret on the cover, that's bad. SC1, you can see it if you look closely at the picture. That is like a whole other level of security clearance. No way should that be there. Do you see the SC? Yep. That is, you can't even discuss what's even the subject of that. So let me just say what that means. Yes, Macron could look silly, but it's a bargaining chip. It's leverage. It's something he could use against another country. The other thing is spies, our informants, our allies, they are detailed where they are in those documents. So if you're the party of law and order and the military, you better be against Trump having those laid out because our informants could be dead because of that.
We don't know if Trump laid out those documents.
We don't
that could have very well been the FBI laying them out.
Totally,
for
but they were
photographic
there.
evidence.
Exactly.
Right. What would you say, Al?
Yeah, I don't think that they were on the floor, but I don't think that they were protected, and that's what we want. And you know, what Tori said is very true. What we're talking about now, when we see a story 6 months from now, a year and a half from now, and it says, you know, one of our ships got hit, one of our secret intels was hit. How did that happen? Well, it's because of things like this. They're not doing these on social media where they're saying, oh, we just sold this for this amount of money to this country. Why would he have that, and who would want that? There's no answer to why he would have that except for financial gain. Let's be honest. I don't think he's keeping it and framing it like a picture of his kids. And the only people that want it would want it for leverage or for nefarious reasons. Those are the only two reasons that it could exist. This is not baseball memorabilia. This is not anything, your old high school letterman's jacket. These are important documents for a reason, and they don't mark things top secret for no reason. Some things are classified erroneously or probably extra. But when you start talking about top secret documents, that's the basis of every movie that we go watch.
Absolutely.
What would James Bond be without taking a top secret document?
Well,
that would be a boring movie if it was just on the floor when he walked in there.
Do you remember House of Cards? If you remember, with Kevin Spacey, House of Cards had real-life DC consultants, political consultants on there, and when some of those plot lines seemed Tori,
little too close to home. Yeah,
it happens.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely happens. So coming up on DBL, couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game.
Nice.
Yep, that's coming up next.
Good transition, Sam.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. Some people have a low tolerance for PDA, public display of affection, but others throw your tolerance and their clothes out the window with a public display of, you know what? Sex.
Sam, you ruined it.
I always do. And a warning to our viewers, you may find some of this content graphic. Check out this couple being intimate at the Toronto Blue Jays game. I'm sorry, I'm trying
Big baseball fan.
I'm not looking at the prompter, I'm looking at the picture.
I get it.
This happened earlier this week where many fans witnessed and recorded the sexual encounter happening in the nosebleed section.
I get it. When you get seats that bad, you got to distract them. You're like, look, we got to do something. I'm sorry.
Okay, as well as the police and security intervention that followed to break it up. And then in Toronto, it wasn't the only place that couples felt comfortable enough to get it on in public. In Ohio, a couple was charged with public indecency, yes, for giving people at an amusement park quite the show.
Which one was it?
145 feet in the air on the giant Ferris wheel. There were multiple witnesses, including minors. See, what would you say? What if Kinsley was down there? Would that bother you?
don't think she can tell yet.
I would just be caught off guard. I think people need to stop watching so many movies and trying to like repeat what happens in the movies. This is real life, and you can actually go to jail. Now, I don't know if I'd be the mom that was super offended with a 1-year-old. I don't think she knows what the heck is going on. But I would be like, shame on you. I would be like, shame on you. Yeah, I would wag my finger for sure.
And I was seeing this story, and I was like, I don't want to kink shame anyone, because what if someone really, their thing is, I might get caught. And then Al, you came up with a great thing. You said it shouldn't interfere with my life.
Thank you, or my kids' life.
Right, that's fair.
And also, the worst thing is this happened on the Ferris wheel.
So but who can see?
Those are long. Do you know long? The Ferris wheel is like 11 minutes long. Like if you're in the car right next to them, like you're just awkwardly small talking it up.
What if you're in the car with like your grandparents?
Oh my
How
God.
embarrassing.
Or have to go in next, like you said.
You know, I think we underestimate our grandparents. How you think your parents got here?
I know, but you don't want to be there with your grandparents.
Oh God.
I don't know when are you on a Ferris wheel, like looking back or at the people around you? Like, how did so many people catch? Yeah, you're just like enjoying the moment. Why are you like, oh my God? Like that just seems like you have too much time.
You're forgetting the audio aspect of this as well. So there's
Ow. Okay. Well, while we're on the subject, there were some freaky flyers on a recent Southwest flight to Mexico. The pilot went full dad mode and threatened to turn the plane around if passengers didn't stop sending unsolicited nude photos to other passengers. Take a listen to the pilot's message caught on TikTok.
So here's the deal. This continues while we're on the ground. I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved. And it's vacation that's going to be ruined. So you folks, whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
And of course they're going to
because there's no naked pictures in Cabo. Yes.
An incident like this is actually called cyber flashing and was brought to the attention of the pilot when a passenger received the explicit image and complained to a flight attendant.
There's even like stuff on where you can send through the airline. Like messages, and you can send pictures and stuff like that.
I thought that was a weird feature. Yeah. I don't know if they still have that.
Unsolicited pic.
Right. Yeah. And someone. Good catch. But yeah, you know, I always thought that was a weird feature. I think they've probably taken it away. But there, like in your headrest, there would be, you could play games, you could watch movies, or you could chat with a rando in 23E.
Or you could also send them a drink. Don't minus that portion of it.
What if you don't want it?
Somebody can send me a drink anytime on the plane.
I get it.
But yeah, even Drake, I think we did a story where Drake did that. Remember, he sent the girl a picture of herself being like, you look beautiful. And she's like, no, thank you. I think that, Drake tried to drop this, flashing thing and airdrop it to the woman. And she's like, creepy, please don't do that.
See, my question is, and I don't want to get too serious, but like if you do that, like my daughter has a phone, she's 15. My son has a phone. What if they get it? Is that now
a felony?
Pornography in the hands of a child?
To a minor.
Well, a lot of young girls too, we've experienced it as young girls. Like, somebody could innocently think that you're 18 years old and send you a picture, and in fact you're only 14 years old. I know you're concerned about that as a father.
It's terrifying. We talk about on our podcast dying for likes.
Yep.
But parents do have to be concerned because not only do kids have fences, but now that
Tell them what a fence is.
A fence is a fake Instagram account that your kid may have.
I didn't know. I was like, should I get fenced?
So every parent should know that. So, but it's a thing where pornographic materials are being. We're talking about burning and putting away books. I'm like, your kid still has their phone.
Wow.
That's going to be the genesis of a lot of sexual content for them. So I think that's where we need to be focusing.
Agreed. Wow. We'll be right
Sorry
back.
to turn this into an after-school special.
PBS.
I know, right? Come on, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by.
When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. We've got a viral video for you. A woman was getting in a late night workout at the gym when she got stuck upside down on the inversion machine. No. She had to use her smartwatch to call the police. They did show up. Thankfully, there she is. She got turned back upright. Tori, this would happen to you.
It would, and my mom has this machine and it happened to me. And it feels good. It gives traction for your back. But if you don't have the momentum, you're down there. You're just down there.
So this happens often? I could see that happening to a lot of people.
Usually you have the momentum to come back up. If there's an issue, you're stuck.
Did you have to holler for anybody?
I did. Dad! I can't feel my face.
I'm going to stick with the treadmill.
Yeah, same. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Sharon Stone says a younger man dumped her over not getting Botox, how she's embracing her age even after what he said to her. And we are honoring Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death, how her legacy lives on.
So it's hot outside, and when you get into your car, you turn it on and then look at your dashboard, and sometimes those temperatures can seem a little high.
So the question, are car thermometers accurate? Let's verify. Our source is David Underkoffler, editor-in-chief at Autolist.com, and car dealership Earnhardt Lexus.
So the short answer is no, those thermometers are actually not super accurate.
Underkoffler says the reason? Because the sensors are usually close to the ground.
Earnhardt Lexus states most sensors are near the front bumper. So if the sun is beating down on the front bumper, then the temperature may appear higher.
So if your car has been parked on something like asphalt or blacktop for a while, there's a lot of heat radiating up off that surface into that sensor.
It will usually cool down when you start to drive, but Undercuffler says the most important reason to take these temps with a grain of salt is not when it's hot, but when it's cold outside.
The time you need to remember that this isn't an accurate reading is in the winter. If you're out driving and the temperature is hovering right around freezing, just because it doesn't say freezing on your temperature gauge, it may actually really be freezing in reality. So just adjust your driving accordingly.
Temperature readings vary from car to car depending on the make and the model and where the sensor is. So we can verify that no, car temperatures are not exactly accurate and can differ a few degrees from the actual air temperature. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.
Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Full table over here. We got Lindsay Granger joining us.
What's going on, guys?
Yes, and yes, you'll also see we've got our very own British insider, Stephanie Jones, joining the panel today.
Yes, baby.
Looking good. Well, today's a very important day. That's because today marks 25 years since Princess Diana's death. But before we get the inside scoop from Steph, let's take a look back at Diana's remarkable life.
There was so much attention on me when I first arrived on the scene, and I had so many people watching me.
Before becoming the People's Princess, she was a 19-year-old nanny on the path to be queen. An astonishing 750 million people in 74 countries watch her walk down the aisle.
You're not worried about that 3.5-minute walk?
No, I go along with everybody else.
She becomes the pillar of both beauty and kindness.
The lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't.
Teaching her young sons to lead with their heart.
It was that love that even if she was on the other side of a room, that you, as a son, you could feel it.
But after 15 years of marriage, the royal couple separates. The press hounds her every move.
I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life.
Then, in 1997, the world watches as the unthinkable happens.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Devastation sweeps the globe. It's been 25 years since Princess Diana's death, but for some, it's a wound that will never heal.
I do regularly put in George or Charlotte to bed, talk about her, and just try and remind her that there are two grandmothers. There were two grandmothers in their lives.
Yeah, I have no doubt that my mum would be incredibly proud of me. I'm living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart.
Oh my gosh. Just think of her as a mom or a mum, as you would say. What was it like when Princess Diana died in England 25 years ago? And what were the days like following that?
Well, first of all, I just want to make sure you guys are okay, because I can see you're all welling up. I'm like, are you guys okay?
I just see them, two young kids losing their mom early, like at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I think that's what resonated with most people, whether you were British or whether you're here in America. Like, she was only 36 years old. Think about that, so young, leaving behind 2 young boys that are not in the normal everyday household. They're very much in the public eye, living their lives on full display, no privacy for mourning, having to obviously follow their mum's funeral car. You can't imagine it. But I just remember it being horrendously sad. Everybody was crying as if it was their mother, their auntie, their sister. It was really devastating news that shocked not only England, but obviously rippled all the way to America and other parts of the Commonwealth too, you know?
And what about the days after? Do you remember like talking to family members, or like what was like the almost the ambiance out in the streets?
Everyone was genuinely
Steph, I wonder,
so
like, what did your parents do? Like, what were they?
I think my mum was I think everyone was just more shocked, because you've got to think, this was a princess. How did this happen to a princess? Someone untouchable in everyday life, so to speak. You know, you see these figures on television, but this isn't just a celebrity. This is a member of the royal family. Well, she obviously wasn't a royal at the time, but she was still the Princess of Wales. So it's almost shocking, like, how could this happen to her? Someone, like I said, untouchable, whose life they're living in palaces, they're traveling all over the world. How can this happen to them? So utter disbelief, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about today in England.
Yes.
How are people celebrating, mourning, dealing? What is it like today in England 25 years later?
Yeah, so people still will go to Kensington Palace and they will leave out wreaths, they'll leave flowers, they'll leave artwork, and they'll also do that in Paris at the site in which Diana passed away at the tunnel. Yes, exactly, Tori. So, but what you need to remember is this is coming from, let's say, fans or the general public. This is not coming from the royal family. So the royal family 5 years ago said that they were going to mourn Diana now in private after the 20-year anniversary. And I think, in all honesty, that's fair for William and Harry, because to go through that publicly over and over again, it must be really traumatic, really traumatic.
And as Americans, we were always told that Diana changed the monarchy. But we've seen recent events that maybe says it didn't change that much. What do you feel about it?
So, I honestly think, I'm so proud to be British, and I'm very proud of the royal family. What they've done for charities, for the Commonwealth, it's absolutely unbelievable. And they live a life of service to another level, where their personalities and their private thoughts and feelings are behind the door, and you see this perfectly poised, put together person that doesn't show emotion, that is the backbone of the country, that people look to for leadership. And I think that Diana definitely broke that mold when her and Charles separated. She wanted a voice, and she definitely gave it to the public. She gave an insider look at a time where we didn't have social media, you know, and she started giving open interviews to different paparazzi, to different news outlets, which, I mean, unfortunately led to, I think, that barrier then blurred from someone untouchable to I have access to you, to the point where the paparazzi literally chased her to her death. So it's very sad.
Steph, you said to me one time that you said that you thought that Diana was going to eventually move to the U.S. And
is that true?
You said you thought that. It was rumor. And so, like, let's say that things were different and she did actually move to the U.S. Do you think that would have made it easier for Meghan's transition?
You know, possibly, but I think definitely Diana and Harry and Meghan are of the same ilk, in the sense that they don't fit into that form of a lifestyle, which, like I said, we have a lot of freedom that they simply, as royal members of the family, do not have. And I think that's something that we need to really remember. These aren't the Kardashians that are putting their life on full display, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a completely different world with completely different levels of respect and responsibility.
Sacrifice,
And it really is a sacrifice. And obviously, unless you're willing to live that lifestyle, which is a huge sacrifice, and like Meghan and Harry, they chose to leave. And I think Diana wanted to leave. And, you know, I don't think the royal family liked that. It's a bit of a disgrace, let's be honest. And I think, yeah, she probably did want to move away. And would that have made it easier? Most likely, yes.
Wow. Steph, thank you. But before we let you go, we got a big old congrats.
Yeah, we do.
Recently got engaged. We could not be happier for you. There you are. We got a picture.
Yay!
Look at her. Fiance. So tell us all about your engagement. And is it fun saying fiance now?
It's really weird. I keep saying it to him all the time. I'm like, fiance. It's really strange. But no, it was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I know lots of you guys have met him, and he is just so wonderful. I'm really, really lucky, and I am so excited to get married. Genuinely, so excited.
Lucky to have you as well, Steph.
Yes,
he's very lucky.
Honestly, like Steph and I go back. I feel like we're close, and you're the homie. And you know, I've been with you since day one. And I remember when you met Roche, and she kept saying, "There's a friend picking me up." I was like, "You got a car?
A friend?
What's your
It's like
friend?"
you're telling your parents.
And so, you know, I'm big brother, so I'm like, I got to meet him. We went to lunch, and I was like, oh, this is not only a friend of Steph, but like to me as well. And like he looks at you the way that I want somebody to look at a woman that I love as a person.
Very sweet.
And like I'm so happy for you guys. You guys are just meant to be together.
Look
and
how they're glowing.
I know.
Like that's what happiness looks like.
Yes, you just have to unfollow Steph on Instagram.
Let's be real. There was a heavy, like, you know, sunsetty filter thing going on there.
I was so excited when you sent us the video, but it had no audio. So I was just watching it quietly in silence, and I'm like, are you engaged?
I was literally like, I need to tell everyone at DBL, and I recorded this video, and then I sent it, and Lindsay was like, Steph, there's no audio. And I was in Florence, so I had no idea. I was like, oh no.
I was like, is there a ring? What is she saying?
At the end, she goes, and so I'm like, I think she's trying to say she's engaged.
I think Bert, our executive producer, even came in and was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I thumbs up it, and he said like, good morning or something, and I was like, oh no, I didn't really do a good job explaining.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Happy for y'all.
And Steph, you're sticking around.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Coming up on DBL, Sharon Stone is talking about how she got dumped by a younger guy over not getting Botox. And Leonardo DiCaprio is single for the first time in 4 years. We're talking all about that split coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
everyone saying congratulations to Steph and Roche.
Tell everybody how they met. I mean, how he asked.
No, do you want to say how you asked? It's really special.
Oh, no, he was really sweet. We were on a private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. It was absolutely beautiful. And all my family were there, all my best friends were there.
Isn't that how you want to get engaged?
It was pretty amazing.
That's how every person would want to get engaged. An island in the Mediterranean, your entire family is there. It's sunny. I love this man. He loves me.
Like, he literally went all out and then some. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
That's so awesome.
But anyone who knows Roche, though, knows he is incredibly extra. So
and he thinks
the
best way. In the best way.
He thinks of everything.
Did you ever think when you moved to Denver, maybe someone already asked you, I didn't hear, I was talking, but did you ever think that you'd find your person here?
No.
In Denver, Colorado?
No. And honestly, genuinely, my whole life, I've always been like, I don't believe in marriage and I don't want to get married. My whole life. And I tell you what, it's so silly, and it sounds like a crazy thing to say. And literally, it's the silliest thing. But Roche is very traditional, and he massively believes in that. And he's like, no, it's how it should be. And this is so embarrassing to say that this is what made it click, but weird things happen, right? So, on Sex and the City, where Carrie comes home and Big dies?
Yeah.
I was literally watching it and I was horrified. And I actually went to therapy over it. I was that distraught.
Oh, it traumatized you?
It traumatized me. And I literally was like, if anything ever happened to either Roche and I didn't be married to that person, it would be the biggest regret of my entire life. Because literally even before then, Roche was like saying, I really, and I was like, oh, maybe, But like when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I would forever regret it.
You're married to someone, you have those rights.
Yep.
Definitely.
Welcome back. We're looking at some celebrity breakup stories people are talking about, including our viewers. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo, and model Camila Morrone have reportedly broken up after more than 4 years together. Oh, Tori's very upset about it. The two had been linked since December of 2017, and she had just turned 25 in June. The breakup also means Leo keeps his track record of never dating anyone over the age of 25. Yeah. Leo, who is 47, also dated Giselle for 5 years, but then broke up with her when she was 23. And he also dated model Bar Raffaelli in the mid-2000s, but they broke up when she hit the big old 25. In fact, from the age of 24 to 47, all of Leo's past girlfriends, including Blake Lively, have been between the ages of 21 and 25 when they broke up. So do you think Leo has a dating expiration date, Lindsay? You're laughing at the graph. What's going on?
Graph, someone took the time out. That's the funny part.
Everyone read it.
Yeah, but I just think, I think about the 25-year-old me, and like, you know nothing about anything, even though you think you know everything. So I'm just imagining like a 47-year-old man being like, sure, yeah, between 21 and 25 is the only mindset that I want. I love Leo, but it made me have like a side eye. Like, people are so young. They're adults, but at least if I'm relating to myself, I don't think I was grown enough to be like in a serious committed relationship. So obviously, I feel like that's a little bit what he's looking for, someone who's just like fun.
I was literally saying to these guys earlier, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. He can do whatever he wants and he can have whoever he wants. And, you know, I mean, it's on him, isn't it? At the end of the day, is he going to find true love and real happiness? Probably not, but I don't think he can.
I don't think he is either. I used to work at the club where Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio would come frequent, and let me tell you, girls would be lined up.
I can imagine.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And so if they're lined up, they're agreeing to this kind of weird power dynamic he has.
It's
and there's definitely a power dynamic working here. I think that he likes to definitely be in control. Obviously, financially, he's doing better. And just having 21 years of experience over somebody, there's just always going to be that power dynamic. And I think if he was to date somebody much older than 25, which sounds weird to say, I think that would be a much different relationship, and I don't think he has any experience in that relationship.
No, I don't think he does.
He has experience with 23-years-olds, not 33-year-olds.
A kid at heart, because he started so young in the industry. Did it stunt him? Because he's only attracted to really young girls.
Models.
Yeah, I don't think that's a weird thing to be attracted to. Some kind of weird kink. I'm attracted to 20-year-old models.
Weird. But I feel like once you hit like 30, I don't know, everybody else can say, it's like the no comes way easier, like with no regret. And so at 25, the no is like, should I say no? Right. And so they're like, you want to go to France? You want to do this? It's like, yeah. And like the life is probably about Leo versus 30.
You're right.
I want to do what I want to do.
There's no challenge.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. In keeping up with our breakup theme, Sharon Stone revealed that she was dumped by a younger man for refusing to get Botox. Speaking to Vogue Arabia, Sharon, who is 64, said she was recently in a relationship with a younger man, but then he asked if she used Botox. Sharon told him, quote, "It would probably be really good for your ego and mine if I did, but after one more date, she never saw him again." She said, if a guy doesn't see her for more than her looks, then please find your way to the exit. Sharon revealed that she has used Botox in the past, but stopped after she needed it to even out her face after a stroke and a brain hemorrhage. Steph, how would you feel if a man pushed you into getting like cosmetic procedures?
Well, I think that's never okay for anyone, man or woman, friend, anybody. It should be no one's place to say what you should and shouldn't do with your body, especially your looks. If it's not health related, don't even get involved. And even at that point, it shouldn't be up to anyone else to make your decisions for you. I mean, I love Botox.
Me too.
We should just end this segment right there.
Just love. This is the most my face has ever been able to move in a seriously long amount of time. I'm really looking forward to getting into my injector. But yeah, that's on me, isn't it? And I love it.
But then that brings up.
You wouldn't like your man to say you need to go get Botox.
Oh, no. Nor would he. I think he's like, why? This is like really silly.
But what if somebody, what if somebody knows you and they're like, oh my God, Steph's Botox was so good, and innocently they recommend it to me? I can't be so mad if they're a close person in my life that's just saying, I saw somebody look really good.
But what if it was Colin who did it?
Yeah, but I would stay with Colin. She kicked him to the curb. I would be like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, but I don't think people should be commenting, you know. They shouldn't be like, oh, you should change your hair. Oh, you should do this. You should lose weight. You should do. You shouldn't be doing that.
It was an immature thing to say, but that's what happens when you're dating super young people. There has to be some assumed risk when you start a relationship with somebody 20 years younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good for Instagram and like, oh, look how young and beautiful they are, and look what's still attracted to me. It's basically like a show off. Like, look what I can still pull, basically.
Do you
know,
feel
and
that
I
way
think
as a
she should
man,
have
though?
known.
Like, as a man, can a woman tell you who you're dating, tell you like how to change your looks? Would that offend you, or do you appreciate it?
I would probably be hurt by it realistically, but I mean, I'm sure if a 22-year-old was dating me, she'd be like, ooh, gray hair in the sink. You know, like, because she's used to dating younger guys. Like, you don't want an old guy with old man medicine on the counter.
We just don't want hair in the sink.
Yeah, just clean it up.
Thank you.
Oh, I clean
hate
up
that.
I don't leave my
Hair in the basin.
Oh, the basin. Yeah, you gotta clean that up.
When they shave the beard in the basin, I almost one time told Mark to put a shopping bag over his ear.
Like a trough?
No.
Yeah, so
Like
it caught the beard hair. So it caught the beard hair.
And he feels like a fool to start the day.
He didn't, you know, Mark.
No, we should do a whole segment about things.
Did it? Oh.
No, Mark dances to the beat of his own drum. I can't say anything. Madonna says her biggest regret was her 2 marriages. Madonna was married to Sean Penn from 1985 to 1989, and she married director Guy Ritchie in 2000, but they divorced 8 years later. So in a video on YouTube, Madonna revealed her current obsession is sex.
What a surprise.
And if she hadn't become the queen of pop, get this, she would have become a school teacher. Does that surprise you, Tori?
No, she went to University of Michigan, Go Blue. That's my alma mater, and she was a dancer, and I could totally see her being a dance teacher or an art teacher. She's very communicative. She's very out there. Teachers aren't always buttoned up. Al is a teacher. I mean, they can be fun.
Literally anybody off the street could do it. I didn't know I was going to be worked into the Madonna story. But yeah, I mean, I think having a young Madonna, you know, teaching would be a cool thing for young women. But at the same time, I don't know if I buy that.
Oh, that she would have been a teacher?
I don't know. I think that's good. I think her publicist is like, say you want to be a teacher with an apple and a sweater vest. There was nothing about Madonna in the early 80s that said I could have been a teacher.
Point of Madonna with an apple and like a, come on.
And I feel like fame like exaggerates who you are, and she ruffles people's feathers for a living.
She provokes,
and so she would have definitely ruffled enough parents' feathers that it would have been an issue. I mean, we're having conversations about school teachers recently, you know, attire.
Yeah.
Madonna would have been the one.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with it. I'm just saying she definitely would have ruffled
But I think as a dance teacher at Michigan, she could have been a cool Vogue it.
But all right.
She was a fantastic dancer.
Yeah,
she still is.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. The biggest plus to working out is good health, but the downside can be muscle soreness. So should you soothe your pain with a warm compress or just cool it down with a little ice pack, huh, Al? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. Experts say that ice can reduce pain and inflammation by decreasing blood flow to the affected area and is best for severe or acute pain like strained muscles. However, heat can soothe and heal muscles by increasing blood flow and is better for chronic pain or injuries. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefit have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users.
I'm all three.
And Al is all three. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We'll be right back.
You're not an athlete.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Strait, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. First, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to some of our viewers. Highland Elementary School, Ryan Henderson. Yes. No way. In fact, I believe Principal Henderson.
Excuse us.
Yep. And then also his father, Leo Henderson. Leo is out of Kent, Washington, and then Principal Henderson out of Lake Stevens. Thank you for watching. We love you guys.
Yes. There's so many different memes going around about teachers' first days, and it's so beautiful to see, like, one guy dropped his notebook and was like, I'll wait for the class to stop speaking.
Wow.
And I'm like, I remember I used to be the person that made them say, I'll wait.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was like class clown. I had a best friend that was always in my class.
I can't believe they didn't move you guys. I would first day I would be like, oh, Steph and Lindsay are friends. Okay, Steph, you're over there. Lindsay, you are down the hall to the right. Like, I separated friends. He's quick.
Or else they're stuck in Principal Henderson's office.
That's right.
So watch out. We have a lot of comments. Stewie says, Sam, Al, Tori, Lindsay, and Steph, best panel of the summer.
Woo!
Marissa says, congrats on the engagement, Steph.
Thank you.
And S. Purpose says, I have always and will always love Madonna. She's my queen.
There you go.
I feel like a crime boss with my agents around.
Okay, I'll take it. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stop and by and say, we're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we're made for.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A veteran TV anchor says she was fired for letting her hair go gray. Are more and more 50-plus women facing discrimination at work? Well, this is awkward. Couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game. Is it the ultimate faux pas? Sharon Stone said no to Botox, but then got dumped for it? She's revealing what a younger man said to her after she refused to change her face. And looking back on the life of the late Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL, you guys. We got Lindsay Granger joining us.
What's going on?
Looking fierce too. I love it.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so there is something that I think that we all need to talk about it, because I know even though this is happening in Canada, we can all relate, especially to women over 50. There's a really big controversy, as I said, going on right now just over in Canada. It's all over a beloved news anchor for Canadian TV network CTV. Now, her name, there she is. She's gorgeous. Her name is Lisa LaFlemme. She's like, if I could compare her to anybody here in the States, like the Diane Sawyer of Canada. Well, after 35 years, she was recently let go by the network at the age of 58. Her firing happened after she let her hair go gray. Now, officially, the company said it listed, quote unquote, changing viewer habits as part of its decision. However, there are reports that the head of CTV News had asked at a meeting who approved the decision to, quote, let Lisa's hair go gray. Like, why? Who did this? Companies are showing their support for Lisa. Look at this, you guys. That's Wendy's. Yeah, iconic. Instead of like the mascot's red hair, they swapped it out for gray. Now, this whole controversy has sparked a lot of conversation about older women facing ageism, which is a lot more common than you might think. In fact, a recent AARP survey found 2 in 3 women over 50 say they regularly face ageism. Tori, we don't talk about ageism as much as we talk about other plights going on. And not to compare the, one to the other, but do you think that this is a movement that needs to happen? And let's move away from television. Let's just think about our peers, our mothers, our viewers in 9-to-5 jobs. What would you say?
I think the ageism or the ism is really there. I think people right now still want to have young, fresh faces, and they think gray equals old. But just for women, gray for men is distinguished and experienced.
Anderson Cooper.
Jeff Schroeder.
For real, though.
Yeah, but I will be honest with you. I'm in a visual medium, but if I started to go gray, I 1,000% would dye my hair because it exists, it's real. And we talk about sexism, we talk about fatism, we talk about other things. Ageism is looked over and skipped, just like many women of that entire generation.
Yeah, I think that's what the story highlights is every person watching Sphere. As you get older, you look at this woman who is as distinguished in your career as you can possibly be, and you're fired mid-contract, seemingly just for your hair color. So you're looking like, if that can happen to her,
yes,
what's going to happen to me?
Yes.
You know, she probably has another landing spot because of her notoriety. What about me? I definitely understand that. I think, Lindsay, until we change how we look at age as a society, we won't see the difference because, like Tori was talking about, Jeff and Tom Brokaw, anybody, there's a million terms for men with gray hairs.
I mean, Dan Rather, we can go down the list.
They call them silver foxes, but there's no term for that for women. And once we change that, we'll change everything.
What is the term for women, Lindsay?
I don't know. I actually love when women get age and have gray hair. I think it's beautiful, but I'm, on an island with that idea. Actually not. I think society is moving forward with that idea. Mae Musk was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in a bathing suit with her gray hair looking beautiful. So I think it's just like these older executives that make some decisions that are on the back burner and not understanding and reading the room. Because I think specifically with women's hair, there's 2 conversations. Like, so you go into her job and aesthetics is part of the job. You can't deny that, and we can't sit here on this panel and act like aesthetics is not a part of a TV job. However, this is a woman who reported for 35 years, who covered the Iraq War, who's done so many different things, most recently uncovered a lot of stuff in Canada that really takes investigative reporting with her entire team.
Right.
And she's been notable for all these things, and a business decision was made because of her age only, is what she's saying. And so, even though it's going to be hard for her, an uphill battle to prove, this is why a lot of people feel like they must be silenced because they might not work again just for just stating how they feel and their arguments or grievances within the workplace. And so I think she really should go out there and do these interviews on CNN and speak her piece because she is by all means qualified, young enough, and really good at her job and should continue doing it.
It's a whistleblower.
Right, and if she's the one, to Al's point and to your point, Lindsay, who has so much accolade, and she's dealing with it. Can you imagine someone who's a teacher?
Totally.
Or a waitress?
Right.
I mean, how often, I used to work as a waitress in Los Angeles, and I remember like at 25, you felt that you were expired. So we have a lot of work to do. Yes. Definitely there's been, I would say, progress for sure, but I think this is a movement that now more than ever, we need to kind of reframe that whole stigma of gray hair in the workplace.
Absolutely.
But there is more to the conversation because a lot of women who are over 50, they find themselves in another big bind, especially if they're looking for work. A lot of employers find these women too old to hire, but then they'll also say that they're too young to retire. So they're stuck being left out of the workforce just because of their age. So what are women in this age group supposed to do? Tori, here we go again. Like, what are they supposed to do? I know I talked to, I'm going to leave the person's name out of this conversation, but a lot of districts, school districts right now are hiring a lot of these young teachers coming in simply because they're cheaper.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So what is that, how does that feel for some of the older teachers when they're being replaced by younger teachers because of the paycheck or the pay cut,
Right, or the pay cut. What's so interesting to me, and you brought this up, so I want to jump to you on this, is what a loss. We're missing such a great group of people in the workforce. They're usually mothers or grandmothers. They know how to run a household. They know how to manage a pocketbook. They know how to keep control. They know how to multitask. They're educated. They have expertise. All these things. What a loss. And that it's an enormous group that is a vacuum. So
right, but from that loss, there can be a net gain. And what I mean by that is, people have different feelings about capitalism, but it is the structure that we live under. And the one good thing that capitalism provides for us is there always is going to be a company that's looking for a gap in the market. And if there are women with gray hair or anybody with gray hair that's being discriminated against, that's just going to create a huge pool of talented people for you to hire for your company and overtake the other. We saw this with Victoria's Secret. They came out, we're unapologetic. We're not putting you big girls in our undergarments, so we get out of here. And what happened? A bunch of companies were like, we'll put you in our undergarments, and they realized what the average shape of an average human being looks like. And those companies surpassed Victoria's Secret, who I believe filed for bankruptcy at one point.
Yes, they sure did. They plunged like a V-neck bra.
Right. So capitalism does take care of a lot.
And there's some irreplaceable strategies, ideas, personalities that someone who has a little bit more wisdom and experience can bring to the workplace or any place. And so, when you think about, I thought I knew it all at 25, but I would have loved to hire 34-year-old Lindsay as opposed to 25-year-old Lindsay. And I'm sure 50-year-old Lindsay will be even better. And so that's why I think people need to embrace not just bringing in the young kids out of college. Yes, we should support them, but to do every job where you have to be experienced and really understand it just for a pay cut will ultimately, I think, denigrate the business.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, no one's going to understand how to work with people in these settings and just some life skills that you learn along the way about how to better navigate situations.
And we always talk about representation matters. A lot of those viewers, now I'm going back to this television show, a lot of those viewers see themselves in her.
Totally.
They know her.
That's the really strange thing about this. Their demo, I would think.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And how about the stigma of who let Lisa's hair go that way? Not did Lisa choose her own hair to go a certain way? I mean, the agency has even gone in that question.
I know. Well, good conversation coming up on DBL. Can you believe it has been 25 years since the passing of Princess Diana? We are honoring her legacy today with a very special tribute, plus top secret documents on the floor. What the Department of Justice is saying about its search on Mar-a-Lago.
Closed captioning provided by
It's so Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Yeah. Sierra. Okay, Tori, don't give any tips on what we were talking about because it has to do with something.
What we're planning or not? Okay.
Could we say at least what we're planning, Bert, or no?
No.
We can't even say the word.
Yeah, we're planning our Halloween.
Oh, we're planning our Halloween.
Yes.
I can say we're planning our Halloween. But going back to this conversation, I thought, Lindsay, if we could have had more time to talk, I always ask about your great-grandmother. May she rest in peace. I can't imagine all the knowledge she had. How old was she?
106.
She's 106, and you interviewed her a year ago. It's almost a third of this country's been around. A year ago, you actually interviewed her, or no?
Well, I did it on her 99th birthday. Yeah, just to talk about because I was like, we all were like, ever since 95, we were like, all right, she's fully cognizant. Let's just start paying attention to every, being more blessed to have her here than just expecting to see her every holiday. So 106, I was like, I didn't think she'd make it to meet my daughter or any of that stuff. So I'm just that's why it was hard for me to
go ahead. Yes,
that's amazing.
It's a really strange thing though that we have these people. We always say that we want experience. I want to you always watch movies where there's these young kids in the middle where they don't know what they're doing, and then there's this great pool of people that you can hire.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
They won't hire them. It's such a strange thing, and I don't.
But is it Mikhail Gorbachev?
I don't understand why.
How do you say Gorbachev?
I don't understand where that comes from.
Well, usually it's just. I mean, I've been in buildings. Let's say for TV stations. A lot of people started hiring instead of reporters who've been experienced and understand how to get the local interviews. They were hiring a lot of MMG.
Yeah, Mikhail.
Meaning you're a reporter, producer in the field.
Right.
And it worked for a little while.
A person with a camera, basically.
Right, and then you saw that the content started looking a little sloppier.
Right.
People stopped watching, and so we see less people trying to do everything all at once, especially for the bigger networks. So you have to balance it. Maybe one of those for every
I loved that when I used to go
so they can teach and learn, bounce off each other. They can stay on the current events as a young person.
It used to be
and the older person.
I made a loop to that. There's no reason why I can't get it.
Welcome back. In a new court filing, the Department of Justice revealed that it sought the search warrant for former President Trump's residence in Florida after it got evidence that highly classified documents were likely concealed and that Trump's legal team falsely claimed all sensitive material had been returned. They also released this photo from Mar-a-Lago showing a bunch of top secret and classified documents all over the floor. Meantime, the list of documents the FBI recovered from the president's home included some information on the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. There's a lot of speculation now that this information may include intelligence on the French president's sex life. Trump reportedly bragged to some of his aides that he knew illicit details about Macron's love life, and now officials on both sides of the Atlantic want to know if this is what was recovered. Lindsay, what did you think about the photo of the files everywhere, and then what do you think about the sex life of Macron, if that's even an issue?
Right, I definitely think that he shouldn't have those documents. Obviously, we have documents classified for a reason, and people on both sides of the aisle and obviously in other countries now want to know exactly why the search was conducted and what the findings were. But I think when you start talking about people's sex lives and the sex lives of leaders around the country, that's where you have a Fox News talking point. And now everyone's going to say, okay, so we went in President Trump's house in order to see what he had on the sex life of the French president. And it just gets convoluted. And this is what, like, gearing up as we come close to midterms and everything, that narrative that this is all nonsensical and all politically motivated. And so I think that's a tight line when this is the news peg coming out of what happened.
Yeah, you don't want to take it to a point in which it's all now become the P-tape or whatever it is in terms of like everyone can make fun of it like that. Here's the main thing that happened. One, the fact that there were any top secret documents in Mar-a-Lago at all means guilty. Immediately, that should not have been there. Second, if you see top secret on the cover, that's bad. SC1, you can see it if you look closely at the picture. That is like a whole other level of security clearance. No way should that be there. Do you see the SC? Yep. That is, you can't even discuss what's even the subject of that. So let me just say what that means. Yes, Macron could look silly, but it's a bargaining chip. It's leverage. It's something he could use against another country. The other thing is spies, our informants, our allies, they are detailed where they are in those documents. So if you're the party of law and order and the military, you better be against Trump having those laid out because our informants could be dead because of that.
We don't know if Trump laid out those documents.
We don't know.
That could have very well been the FBI laying them out.
Totally,
for
but they were there.
evidence.
Exactly.
Right. What would you say, Al?
Yeah, I don't think that they were on the floor, but I don't think that they were protected. And that's what we want. And, you know, what Tori said is very true. What we're talking about now, when we see a story 6 months from now, a year and a half from now, and it says, you know, one of our ships got hit. One of our secret intels was hit. How did that happen? Well, it's because of things like this. They're not doing these on social media where they're saying, oh, we just sold this for this amount of money to this country. Why would he have that, and who would want that? There's no answer to why he would have that except for financial gain. Let's be honest. I don't think he's keeping it and framing it like a picture of his kids. And the only people that want it would want it for leverage or for nefarious reasons. Those are the only two reasons that it could exist. This is not baseball memorabilia. This is not anything, your old high school letterman's jacket. These are important documents for a reason, and they don't mark things top secret for no reason. Some things are classified erroneously or probably extra. But when you start talking about top secret documents, that's the basis of every movie that we go watch.
Absolutely.
What would James Bond be without taking a top secret document?
Well,
that would be a boring movie if it was just on the floor when he walked in there.
Do you remember House of Cards? If you remember, with Kevin Spacey, House of Cards had real life DC consultants, political consultants on there. And when some of those plot lines seemed Tori,
a little too close to home. Yeah,
it happens.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely happens. So coming up on DBL, couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game.
Nice.
Yep, that's coming up next.
Good transition, Sam.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. Some people have a low tolerance for PDA, public display of affection, but others throw your tolerance and their clothes out the window with a public display of, sex.
Sam, you ruined it.
I always do. And a warning to our viewers, you may find some of this content graphic. Check out this couple being intimate at the Toronto Blue Jays game. I'm sorry, I'm trying
Big baseball fan.
I'm not looking at the prompter, I'm looking at the picture.
I get it.
This happened earlier this week where many fans witnessed and recorded the sexual encounter happening in the nosebleed section.
I get it. When you get seats that bad, you got to distract them. You're like, look, we got to do something. I'm sorry.
Okay, as well as the police and security intervention that followed to break it up. And then in Toronto, it wasn't the only place that couples felt comfortable enough to get it on in public. In Ohio, a couple was charged with public indecency, yes, for giving people at an amusement park quite the show.
Which one was it?
145 feet in the air on the giant Ferris wheel. There were multiple witnesses, including minors. See, what would you say? What if Kinsley was down there? Would that bother you?
I don't think she can tell yet.
I would just be caught off guard. I think people need to stop watching so many movies and trying to repeat what happens in the movies. This is real life, and you can actually go to jail. Now, I don't know if I'd be the mom that was super offended with a 1-year-old. I don't think she knows what the heck is going on. Right. But I would be like, shame on you. I would be like, shame on you. Yeah, I would wag my finger for sure.
And I was seeing this story, and I was like, I don't want to kink shame anyone, because what if someone really, their thing is I might get caught, and then Al, you came up with a great thing. You said it shouldn't interfere with my life.
Thank you, or my kids' life.
Right, that's fair.
And also, the worst thing is this happened on the Ferris wheel.
I know.
So
but who can see?
Those are long.
Up
do you know long? The Ferris wheel is like 11 minutes long. If you're in the car right next to them, you're just awkwardly small talking it up.
What if you're in the car with your grandparents?
Oh my
God.
Embarrassing. Or have to go in next, like you said.
I think we underestimate our grandparents. How you think your parents got here?
But you don't want to be there with your grandparents.
Oh God.
I don't know when are you on a Ferris wheel looking back or at the people around you? How did so many people catch?
Ahead?
Yeah, you're just enjoying the moment. Why are you oh my God? That just seems like you have too much time.
You're forgetting the audio aspect of this as well. So there's
Ow. Okay. Well, while we're on the subject, there were some freaky flyers on a recent Southwest flight to Mexico. The pilot went full dad mode and threatened to turn the plane around if passengers didn't stop sending unsolicited nude photos to other passengers. Take a listen to the pilot's message caught on TikTok.
So here's the deal. This continues while we're on the ground. I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved. And it's vacation that's going to be ruined. So you folks, whatever that airdrop thing is, send a naked picture. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
And of course they're going to
because there's no naked pictures in Cabo. Yeah.
An incident like this is actually called cyber flashing and was brought to the attention of the pilot when a passenger received the explicit image and complained to a flight attendant.
There's even stuff on where you can send through the airline. Like messages, and you can send pictures and stuff like that.
I thought that was a weird feature. Yeah. I don't know if they still have that.
Unsolicited pic.
Right. Yeah. And some Good catch. But yeah, you know, I always thought that was a weird feature. I think they've probably taken it away. But there, like in your headrest, there would be, you could play games, you could watch movies, or you could chat with a rando in 23E.
Or you could also send them a drink. Don't minus that portion.
But what if you don't want it?
Somebody can send me a drink anytime on the plane.
I get it.
But yeah, even Drake, I think we did a story where Drake did that. Remember, he sent the girl a picture of herself being like, you look beautiful. And she's like, no, thank you. I think that, yeah, Drake tried to drop this, you know, flashing thing and airdrop it to the woman. And she's like, creepy, please don't do that.
See, my question isn't, I want to get serious, but like if you do that, like my daughter has a phone. She's 15. My son has a phone. What if they get it? Is that now
a felony?
Pornography in the hands of a child?
To a minor.
Well, a lot of young girls, too, you know, we've experienced it as young girls. Like, you know, somebody could innocently think that you're 18 years old and send you a picture, and in fact you're only 14 years old. I know you're concerned about that as a father.
It's terrifying. You know, we talk about on our podcast dying for likes. But you know, parents do have to be concerned because not only do kids have fences, but now that
Tell them what a fence is.
A fence is a fake Instagram account that you know your kid may have.
I didn't know. I was like, should I get fenced?
So every parent should know that. So, but it's a thing where you know, pornographic materials are being. We're talking about burning and putting away books. I'm like, your kid still has their phone.
Wow.
That's going to be the genesis of a lot of sexual content for them. So I think that's where we need to be focusing.
Agreed. We'll be right back.
Sorry to turn this into an after-school special.
PBS.
I know, right? Come on, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim. So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. We've got a viral video for you. A woman was getting in a late night workout at the gym when she got stuck upside down on the inversion machine. She had to use her smartwatch to call the police. They did show up. Thankfully, there she is. She got turned back upright. Tori, this would happen to you.
It would, and my mom has this machine and it happened to me. And it feels good. It gives traction for your back. But if you don't have the momentum, you're down there. You're just down there.
So this happens often? I could see that happening to a lot of people.
Usually you have the momentum to come back up. If there's an issue, you're stuck.
Did you have to holler for anybody?
I did. Dad! I can't feel my face.
I'm gonna stick with the treadmill.
Yeah, same. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Sharon Stone says a younger man dumped her over not getting Botox, how she's embracing her age even after what he said to her. And we are honoring Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death, how her legacy lives on.
So it's hot outside, and when you get into your car, you turn it on and then look at your dashboard, and sometimes those temperatures can seem a little high. So the question, are car thermometers accurate? Let's verify. Our source is David Underkoffler, editor-in-chief at Autolist.com, and car dealership Earnhardt Lexus.
So the short answer is no, those thermometers are actually not super accurate.
Underkoffler says the reason? Because the sensors are usually close to the ground. Earnhardt Lexus states most sensors are near the front bumper. So if the sun is beating down on the front bumper, then the temperature may appear higher.
So if your car has been parked on something like asphalt or blacktop for a while, there's a lot of heat radiating up off that surface into that sensor.
It will usually cool down when you start to drive, but Underkoffler says the most important reason to take these temps with a grain of salt is not when it's hot, but when it's cold outside.
The time you need to remember that this isn't an accurate reading is in the winter. If you're out driving and the temperature is hovering right around freezing, just because it doesn't say freezing on your temperature gauge, it may actually really be freezing in reality. So just adjust your driving accordingly.
Temperature readings vary from car to car depending on the make and the model and where the sensor is. So we can verify that no, car temperatures are not exactly accurate and can differ a few degrees from the actual air temperature. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.
Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Full table over here. We got Lindsay Granger joining
What's
us.
going on, guys?
Yes, and yes, you'll also see we've got our very own British insider, Stephanie Jones, joining the panel today.
Yes, baby.
Looking good. Well, today's a very important day. That's because today marks 25 years since Princess Diana's death. But before we get the inside scoop from Steph, let's take a look back at Diana's remarkable life.
There was so much attention on me when I first arrived on the scene, and I had so many people watching me.
Before becoming the People's Princess, she was a 19-year-old nanny on the path to be queen. An astonishing 750 million people in 74 countries watch her walk down the aisle.
You're not worried about that 3.5-minute walk?
No, I go along with everybody else.
She becomes the pillar of both beauty and kindness.
The lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't.
Teaching her young sons to lead with their heart.
It was that love that even if she was on the other side of a room, that you, as a son, you could feel it.
But after 15 years of marriage, the royal couple separates. The press hounds her every move.
I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life.
Then, in 1997, the world watches as the unthinkable happens.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Devastation sweeps the globe. It's been 25 years since Princess Diana's death, but for some, it's a wound that will never heal.
I do regularly putting George or Charlotte to bed, talk about her, and just try and remind her that there are two grandmothers. There were two grandmothers in their lives.
Yeah, I have no doubt that my mum would be incredibly proud of me. I'm living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart.
Oh my gosh. Just think of her as a mom or a mum, as you would say. What was it like when Princess Diana died in England 25 years ago, and what were the days like following that?
Well, first of all, I just want to make sure you guys are okay, because I can see you're all welling up. I'm like, are you guys okay?
And you see two young kids losing their mom early, like at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I think that's what resonated with most people, whether you were British or whether you're here in America. Like, she was only 36 years old. Think about that, so young, leaving behind two young boys that are not in the normal everyday household. They're very much in the public eye, living their lives on full display, no privacy for mourning, having to obviously follow their mum's funeral car. You can't imagine it. But I just remember it being horrendously sad. Everybody was crying as if it was their mother, their auntie, their sister. It was really devastating news that shocked not only England, but obviously rippled all the way to America and other parts of the Commonwealth too, you know?
And what about the days after? Do you remember like talking to family members, or like what was like almost like the ambiance out in the streets?
Everyone was genuinely
Steph, I wondered, like, what did your
sad.
parents do? Like, what were they?
I think I think everyone was just more shocked, because you've got to think, this was a princess. How did this happen to a princess? Someone untouchable in everyday life, so to speak. You know, you see these figures on television, but this isn't just a celebrity. This is a member of the royal family. Well, she obviously wasn't a royal at the time, but she was still the Princess of Wales. So it's almost shocking, like, how could this happen to her? Someone, like I said, untouchable, whose life they're living in palaces, they're traveling all over the world. How can this happen to them? So utter disbelief, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about today in England. How are people celebrating, mourning, dealing? What is it like today in England 25 years later?
Yeah, so people still will go to Kensington Palace and they will leave out wreaths, they'll leave flowers, they'll leave artwork, and they'll also do that in Paris at the site in which Diana passed away too. At the tunnel, yes, exactly, Tori. So, but what you need to remember is this is coming from, let's say, fans or the general public. This is not coming from the royal family. So the royal family 5 years ago said that they were going to mourn Diana now in private after the 20-year anniversary. And I think, in all honesty, that's fair for William and Harry, because to go through that publicly over and over again, it must be really traumatic, really traumatic.
And as Americans, we were always told that Diana changed the monarchy. But we've seen recent events that maybe says it didn't change that much. What do you feel about it?
So, I honestly think, I'm so proud to be British, and I'm very proud of the royal family. What they've done for charities, for the Commonwealth, it's absolutely unbelievable. And they live a life of service to another level, where their personalities and their private thoughts and feelings are behind the door, and you see this perfectly poised, put together person that doesn't show emotion, that is the backbone of the country, that people look to for leadership. And I think that Diana definitely broke that mold when her and Charles separated. She wanted a voice, and she definitely gave it to the public. She gave an insider look at a time where we didn't have social media, you know, and she started giving open interviews to different paparazzi, to different news outlets, which, I mean, unfortunately led to, I think, that barrier then blurred from someone untouchable to I have access to you, to the point where the paparazzi literally chased her to her death. So it's very sad.
Steph, you said to me one time that you said that you thought that Diana was going to eventually move to the U.S. And
is that true?
Well, you said you thought that. It was rumor.
Rumors.
And so, like, let's saying that things were different and she did actually move to the U.S. Do you think that would have made it easier for Meghan's transition?
You know, possibly, but I think definitely Diana and Harry and Meghan are of the same ilk in the sense that they don't fit into that form of a lifestyle, which, like I said, we have a lot of freedom that they simply, as royal members of the family, do not have. And I think that's something that we need to really remember. These aren't the Kardashians that are putting their life on full display, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a completely different world with completely different levels of respect and responsibility.
Sacrifice, yeah.
And it really is a sacrifice. Yeah. And obviously, unless you're willing to live that lifestyle, which is a huge sacrifice, and like Meghan and Harry, they chose to leave. And I think Diana wanted to leave. And, you know, I don't think the royal family liked that. It's a bit of a disgrace, let's be honest. And I think, yeah, she probably did want to move away. And would that have made it easier? Most likely, yes.
Wow. Steph, thank you. But before we let you go, we got a big old congrats.
Yeah, we do.
Recently got engaged. We could not be happier for you. There you are. We got a picture.
Yay!
Look at her. Fiance. So tell us all about your engagement. And is it fun saying fiance now?
It's really weird. I keep saying it to him all the time. I'm like, fiance. It's really strange. But no, it was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I know lots of you guys have met him, and he is just so wonderful. I'm really, really lucky, and I am so excited to get married. Genuinely, so
excited. He's lucky to have you as well, Steph.
Yes, he's very lucky.
Honestly, like Steph and I go back. I feel like we're close, and you're the homie. And you know, I've been with you since day one. And I remember when you met Roche, and she kept saying, "There's a friend picking me up." I was like, "You got a car?
A friend?
What's your
it's like you're telling your parents."
And so, you know, I'm big brother, so I'm like, I got to meet him. We went to lunch, and I was like, oh, this is not only a friend of Steph, but like to me as well. And like he looks at you the way that I want somebody to look at a woman that I love as a person.
Very sweet.
And like I'm so happy for you guys. You guys are just meant to be together.
Look how they're glowing.
I know.
Like that's what happiness looks like.
Yes, you just have to unfollow Steph on Instagram.
There was a heavy, like, you know, sunsetty filter thing going on there.
I was so excited when you sent us the video, but it had no audio. So I was just watching it quietly in silence, and I'm like, are you engaged?
I was literally like, I need to tell everyone at DBL, and I recorded this video, and then I sent it, and Lindsay was like, Steph, there's no audio. And I was in Florence, I had no idea. I was like, oh no.
I was like, is there a ring? What is she saying?
At the end, she goes, and so I'm like, I think she's trying to say she's engaged.
I think Bert, our executive producer, even came in and was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I thumbs up it, and he said like, good morning or something, and I was like, oh no, I didn't really do a good job explaining.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Happy for y'all.
And Steph, you're sticking around.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Coming up on DBL, Sharon Stone is talking about how she got dumped by a younger guy over not getting Botox. And Leonardo DiCaprio is single for the first time in 4 years. We're talking all about that split coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
everyone saying congratulations to Steph and Roche.
Tell everybody how they met. I mean, how he asked.
No, do you want to say how you asked? It's really special.
Oh, no, he was really sweet. We were on a private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. It was absolutely beautiful. And all my family were there, all my best friends were there.
Isn't that how you want to get engaged,
It was pretty amazing.
That's how every person would want to get engaged. An island in the Mediterranean, your entire family is there. Right. It's sunny. I love this man. He loves me.
Like, he literally went all out and then some. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
That's so awesome.
But anyone who knows Roche, though, knows he is incredibly extra, so.
And he thinks
the best way.
In the best way.
He thinks of everything.
Did you ever think when you moved to Denver, maybe someone already asked you, I didn't hear, I was talking, but did you ever think that you'd find your person here?
No.
In Denver, Colorado?
No. Honestly, so genuinely my whole life I've always been like, I don't believe in marriage and I don't want to get married. My whole life. And I tell you what, it's so silly, and it sounds like a crazy thing to say. And when it's the silliest thing. But Richey's very traditional, and he massively believes in that. And he's like, no, it's, you know, how it should be. And this is so embarrassing to say that this is what made it click, but weird things happen, right? So, you know on Sex and the City, where Carrie comes home and Big dies?
Yeah.
I was literally watching it and I was horrified. And I actually went to therapy over it. I was that distraught.
Oh, it traumatized you?
It traumatized me. And I literally was like, if anything ever happened to either Richey and I didn't be married to that person, it would be the biggest regret of my entire life. Because literally even before then, Richey was like saying, you know, oh, I really, you know, and I was like, oh, maybe, you know. But like when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I would forever regret it.
When you're married to someone, you have those rights.
Yep.
To go to the hospital.
Definitely.
Welcome back. We're looking at some celebrity breakup stories people are talking about, including our viewers. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo, and model Camila Morrone have reportedly broken up after more than 4 years together. Oh, Tori's very upset about it. The two had been linked since December of 2017, and she had just turned 25 in June. The breakup also means Leo keeps his track record of never dating anyone over the age of 25. Yeah. Leo, who is 47, also dated Giselle for 5 years, but then broke up with her when she was 23. And he also dated model Bar Raffaelli in the mid-2000s, but they broke up when she hit the big old 25. In fact, from the age of 24 to 47, all of Leo's past girlfriends, including Blake Lively, have been between the ages of 21 and 25 when they broke up. So do you think Leo has a dating expiration date, Lindsay? You're laughing at the graph. What's going on?
Graph, someone took the time out. That's the funny part.
Everyone read it.
But I just think about the 25-year-old me, and like, you know nothing about anything, even though you think you know everything. So I'm just imagining like a 47-year-old man being like, sure, yeah, between 21 and 25 is the only mindset that I want. I love Leo, but it made me have like a side eye. Like, people are so young. They're adults, but at least if I'm relating to myself, I don't think I was grown enough to be like in a serious committed relationship. So obviously, I feel like that's a little bit what he's looking for, someone who's just like fun.
Mm-hmm. I was literally saying to these guys earlier, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. He can do whatever he wants and he can have whoever he wants. And, you know, I mean, it's on him, isn't it? At the end of the day, is he going to find true love and real happiness? Probably not, but I don't think he can.
I don't think he is either. I used to work at the club where Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio would come frequent, and let me tell you, girls would be lined up.
I can imagine.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And so if they're lined up, they're agreeing to this kind of weird power dynamic he has.
It's
and there's definitely a power dynamic working here. I think that he likes to definitely be in control. Obviously, financially, he's doing better. And just having 21 years of experience over somebody, there's just always going to be that power dynamic. And I think if he was to date somebody much older than 25, which sounds weird to say, I think that would be a much different relationship, and I don't think he has any experience in that relationship.
No, I don't think he does.
He has experience with 23-years-olds, not 33-year-olds.
A kid at heart, because he started so young in the industry. Did it stunt him? Because he's only attracted to really young models.
Yeah, I don't think that's a weird thing to be attracted to. Some kind of weird kink. I'm attracted to 20-year-old models.
Weird. But I feel like once you hit like 30, I don't know, everybody else can say, it's like the no comes way easier, like with no regret. And so at 25, the no is like, should I say no? Right. And so they're like, you want to go to France? You want to do this? It's like, yeah. And like the life is probably about Leo versus 30.
You're right.
I want to do what I want to do.
There's no challenge.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. In keeping up with our breakup theme, Sharon Stone revealed that she was dumped by a younger man for refusing to get Botox. Speaking to Vogue Arabia, Sharon, who is 64, said she was recently in a relationship with a younger man, but then he asked if she used Botox. Sharon told him, quote, "It would probably be really good for your ego and mine if I did, but after one more date, she never saw him again." She said, if a guy doesn't see her for more than her looks, then please find your way to the exit. Sharon revealed that she has used Botox in the past, but stopped after she needed it to even out her face after a stroke and a brain hemorrhage. Steph, how would you feel if a man pushed you into getting like cosmetic procedures?
Well, I think that's never okay for anyone, man or woman, friend, anybody. It should be no one's place to say what you should and shouldn't do with your body, especially your looks. If it's not health related, don't even get involved. And even at that point, it shouldn't be up to anyone else to make your decisions for you. I mean, I love Botox.
Me too.
We should just end this segment right there.
Just love. This is the most my face has ever been able to move in a seriously long amount of time. I'm really looking forward to getting into my injector. But yeah, that's on me, isn't it? And I love it.
But then that brings up.
You wouldn't like your man to say you need to go get Botox.
Oh, no. Nor would he. I think he's like, why? This is like really silly.
But what if somebody, what if somebody knows you and they're like, oh my God, Steph's Botox was so good, and innocently they recommend it to me. I can't be so mad if they're a close person in my life that's just saying, I saw somebody look really good.
But what if it was Colin who did it?
Yeah, but I would stay with Colin. She kicked him to the curb. I would be like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, but I don't think people should be commenting, you know. They shouldn't be like, oh, you should change your hair. Oh, you should do this. You should lose weight. You should do. You shouldn't be doing that.
It was an immature thing to say, but that's what happens when you're dating super young people. Mm-hmm. There has to be some assumed risk when you start a relationship with somebody 20 years younger than you. Mm-hmm. It's all good for Instagram and like, oh, look how young and beautiful they are and look what's still attracted to me. It's basically like a show off. Like, look what I can still pull, basically.
Do you
know,
feel
and
that
I think she should have known.
Like, as a man, can a woman tell you who you're dating, tell you like how to change your looks? Would that offend you, or do you appreciate it?
I would probably be hurt by it realistically, but I mean, I'm sure if a 22-year-old was dating me, she'd be like, ooh, gray hair in the sink. You know, like, because she's used to dating younger guys. Like, you don't want an old guy with old man medicine on the counter.
We just don't want hair in the sink.
Yeah, just clean it up.
Thank you.
Oh, I clean up
that.
I don't leave
hair in the basin.
Oh, the basin.
Yeah, you gotta clean that up.
When they shave the beard in the basin, I almost one time told Mark to put a shopping bag over his ear.
Like a trough?
No.
Yeah, so
like
it caught the beard hair. So it caught the beard hair.
And he feels like a fool to start the day.
He didn't, you know, Mark.
No, we should do a whole segment about things.
He did it? Oh.
No, Mark dances to the beat of his own drum. I can't say anything. Madonna says her biggest regret was her 2 marriages. Madonna was married to Sean Penn from 1985 to 1989, and she married director Guy Ritchie in 2000, but they divorced 8 years later. So in a video on YouTube, Madonna revealed her current obsession is sex.
What a surprise.
And if she hadn't become the queen of pop, get this, she would have become a school teacher. Does that surprise you, Tori?
No, she went to University of Michigan, Go Blue. That's my alma mater. And she was a dancer, and I could totally see her being a dance teacher or an art teacher. She's very communicative. She's very out there. Teachers aren't always buttoned up. Al was a teacher. I mean, they can be funny.
Literally anybody off the street could do it. I didn't know I was going to be worked into the Madonna story. But yeah, I mean, I think having a young Madonna, teaching would be a cool thing for young women. But at the same time, I don't know if I buy that.
Oh, that she would have been a teacher.
I don't know. I think that's good. I think her publicist is like, say you want to be a teacher with an apple and a sweater vest. There was nothing about Madonna in the early 80s that said I could have been a teacher.
Point of Madonna with an apple and like come on.
But I feel like fame like exaggerates who you are, and she ruffles people's feathers for a living.
She provokes.
And so she would have definitely ruffled enough parents' feathers that it would have been an issue. Yeah. I mean, we're having conversations about school teachers recently, attire.
Yeah.
Madonna would have been the one.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with it. I'm just saying she definitely would have ruffled some
feathers. But I think as a dance teacher at Michigan, she could have been cool. Vogue it.
But all right.
She was a fantastic dancer.
Yeah,
she still is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, It depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. The biggest plus to working out is good health, but the downside can be muscle soreness. So should you soothe your pain with a warm compress or just cool it down with a little ice pack, huh, Al? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. Experts say that ice can reduce pain and inflammation by decreasing blood flow to the affected area and is best for severe or acute pain like strained muscles. However, heat can soothe and heal muscles by increasing blood flow and is better for chronic pain or injuries. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefit have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users.
I'm all three.
And Al is all three. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We'll be right back.
You're not an athlete.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. First, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to some of our viewers. Highland Elementary School, Ryan Henderson. Yes. No way. In fact, I believe Principal Henderson.
Excuse us.
Yep. And then also his father, Leo Henderson. Leo is out of Kent, Washington, and then Principal Henderson out of Lake Stevens. Thank you for watching. We love you guys.
Yes. There's so many different memes going around about teachers' first days, and it's so beautiful to see, like, one guy dropped his notebook and was like, I'll wait for the class to stop speaking.
Wow.
And I'm like, I remember I used to be the person that made them say, I'll wait.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was like class clown. I had a best friend that was always in my class.
I can't believe they didn't move you guys. I would first day I would be like, oh, Steph and Lindsay are friends. Okay, Steph, you're over there. Lindsay, you are down the hall to the right. Like, I separated friends. He's quick.
Or else they're stuck in Principal Henderson's office.
That's right.
So watch out. We have a lot of comments. Stewie says, Sam, Al, Tori, Lindsay, and Steph, best panel of the summer.
Woo!
Marissa says, congrats on the engagement, Steph.
Thank you.
And S. Purpose says, I have always and will always love Madonna. She's my queen.
There you go.
I feel like a crime boss with my agents around.
Okay. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Hey, no time to run, no games. Your time has come today. Just stopping by. We're taking over. We're made for this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over. We're made to win.
DBL is all new every day.
Say what we made for.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A veteran TV anchor says she was fired for letting her hair go gray. Are more and more 50-plus women facing discrimination at work? Well, this is awkward. Couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game. Is it the ultimate faux pas? Sharon Stone said no to Botox, but then got dumped for it? She's revealing what a younger man said to her after she refused to change her face. And looking back on the life of the late Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL, you guys. We got Lindsay Granger joining us.
What's going on?
Looking fierce too. I love it.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so there is something that I think that we all need to talk about it, because I know even though this is happening in Canada, we can all relate, especially to women over 50. There's a really big controversy, as I said, going on right now just over in Canada. It's all over a beloved news anchor for Canadian TV network CTV. Now, her name, there she is. She's gorgeous. Her name is Lisa LaFlemme. She's like, if I could compare her to anybody here in the States, like the Diane Sawyer of Canada. Well, after 35 years, she was recently let go by the network at the age of 58. Her firing happened after she let her hair go gray. Now, officially, the company said it listed, quote unquote, changing viewer habits as part of its decision. However, there are reports that the head of CTV News had asked at a meeting who approved the decision to, quote, let Lisa's hair go gray. Like, why? Who did this? Companies are showing their support for Lisa. Look at this, you guys. That's Wendy's. Yeah, iconic. Instead of like the mascot's red hair, they swapped it out for gray. Now, this whole controversy has sparked a lot of conversation about older women facing ageism, which is a lot more common than you might think. In fact, a recent AARP survey found 2 in 3 women over 50 say they regularly face ageism. Tori, we don't talk about ageism as much as we talk about other plights going on. And not to compare the, one to the other, but do you think that this is a movement that needs to happen? And let's move away from television. Let's just think about our peers, our mothers, our viewers in 9-to-5 jobs. What would you say?
I think the ageism or the ism is really there. I think people right now still want to have young, fresh faces, and they think gray equals old. But just for women, gray for men is distinguished and experienced.
Anderson Cooper.
Jeff Schroeder.
For real, though.
Yeah, but I will be honest with you. I'm in a visual medium, but if I started to go gray, I 1,000% would dye my hair because it exists. It's real. And we talk about sexism. We talk about fatism. We talk about other things. Ageism is looked over and skipped, just like many women of that entire generation.
Yeah, I think that's what the story highlights is every person watching Sphere. As you get older, you look at this woman who is as distinguished in your career as you can possibly be, and you're fired mid-contract, seemingly just for your hair color. So you're looking like, if that can happen to her,
yes,
what's going to happen to me?
Al, yes.
You know, she probably has another landing spot because of her notoriety. What about me? I definitely understand that. I think, Lindsay, until we change how we look at age as a society, we won't see the difference because, like Tori was talking about, Jeff and Tom Brokaw, anybody, there's a million terms for men with gray hairs.
I mean, yeah. Dan Rather.
They call them,
go down the list.
They call them silver foxes, but there's no term for that for women. And once we change that, we'll change everything.
What is the term for women, Lindsay?
I don't know. I actually love when women get age and have gray hair. I think it's beautiful, but I'm, on an island with that idea. Actually not. I think society is moving forward with that idea. Mae Musk was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in a bathing suit with her gray hair looking beautiful. So I think it's just like these older executives that make some decisions that are on the back burner and not understanding and reading the room. Because I think specifically with women's hair, there's 2 conversations. Like, so you go into her job and aesthetics is part of the job. You can't deny that, and we can't sit here on this panel and act like aesthetics is not a part of a TV job. However, this is a woman who reported for 35 years, who covered the Iraq War, who's done so many different things, most recently uncovered a lot of stuff in Canada that really takes investigative reporting with her entire team.
Right.
And she's been notable for all these things, and a business decision was made because of her age only, is what she's saying. And so, even though it's going to be hard for her, an uphill battle to prove, this is why a lot of people feel like they must be silenced because they might not work again just for just stating how they feel and their arguments or grievances within the workplace. And so I think she really should go out there and do these interviews on CNN and speak her piece because she is by all means qualified, young enough, and really good at her job and should continue doing it.
It's a whistleblow.
Right, and if she's the one, to Al's point and to your point, Lindsay, who has so much accolade, and she's dealing with it. Can you imagine someone who's a teacher?
Totally.
Or a waitress?
Right.
I mean, how often, I used to work as a waitress in Los Angeles, and I remember like at 25, you felt that you were expired. So we have a lot of work to do. Yes. Definitely there's been, I would say, progress for sure, but I think this is a movement that now more than ever, we need to kind of reframe that whole stigma of gray hair in the workplace.
Absolutely.
But there is more to the conversation because a lot of women who are over 50, they find themselves in another big bind, especially if they're looking for work. A lot of employers find these women too old to hire, but then they'll also say that they're too young to retire. So they're stuck being left out of the workforce just because of their age. So what are women in this age group supposed to do? Tori, here we go again. Like, what are they supposed to do? I know I talked to, I'm going to leave the person's name out of this conversation, but a lot of districts, school districts right now are hiring a lot of these young teachers coming in simply because they're cheaper.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So what is that, how does that feel for some of the older teachers when they're being replaced by younger teachers because of the paycheck or the pay cut, I should
or
say.
the pay cut. What's so interesting to me, and you brought this up, so I want to jump to you on this, is what a loss. We're missing such a great group of people in the workforce. They're usually mothers or grandmothers. They know how to run a household. They know how to manage a pocketbook. They know how to keep control. They know how to multitask. They're educated. They have expertise. All these things. What a loss. And that it's an enormous group that is a vacuum. So
right, but from that loss, there can be a net gain. And what I mean by that is, people have different feelings about capitalism, but it is the structure that we live under. And the one good thing that capitalism provides for us is there always is going to be a company that's looking for a gap in the market. And if there are women with gray hair or anybody with gray hair that's being discriminated against, that's just going to create a huge pool of talented people for you to hire for your company and overtake the other. We saw this with Victoria's Secret. They came out, we're unapologetic. We're not putting you big girls in our undergarments, so we get out of here. And what happened? A bunch of companies were like, we'll put you in our undergarments, and they realized what the average shape of an average human being looks like. And those companies surpassed Victoria's Secret, who I believe filed for bankruptcy at one point.
Yes, they sure did. They plunged like a V-neck bra.
Right. So capitalism does take care of a lot.
And there's some irreplaceable strategies, ideas, personalities that someone who has a little bit more wisdom and experience can bring to the workplace or any place. And so, when you think about, I thought I knew it all at 25, but I would have loved to hire 34-year-old Lindsay as opposed to 25-year-old Lindsay. And I'm sure 50-year-old Lindsay will be even better. And so that's why I think people need to embrace not just bringing in the young kids out of college. Yes, we should support them, but to do every job where you have to be experienced and really understand it just for a pay cut will ultimately, I think, denigrate the business.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, no one's going to understand how to work with people in these settings and just some life skills that you learn along the way about how to better navigate situations.
And we always talk about representation matters. A lot of those viewers, now I'm going back to this television show, a lot of those viewers see themselves in her.
Totally.
They know her.
That's the really strange thing about this. Their demo, I would think.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And how about the stigma of who let Lisa's hair go that way? Not did Lisa choose her own hair to go a certain way? I mean, the agency has even gone in that question.
I know. Well, good conversation coming up on DBL. Can you believe it has been 25 years since the passing of Princess Diana? We are honoring her legacy today with a very special tribute, plus top secret documents on the floor. What the Department of Justice is saying about its search on Mar-a-Lago.
Closed captioning provided by
It's so Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Yeah. Sierra. Okay, Tori, don't give any tips on what we were talking about because it has to do with something.
What we're planning or not? Okay.
Could we say at least what we're planning, Bert, or no?
No.
We can't even say the word.
Yeah, we're planning our Halloween.
Oh, we're planning our Halloween.
Yes.
I can say we're planning our Halloween. But going back to this conversation, I thought, Lindsay, that if we could have had more time to talk, I always ask about your great-grandmother. May she rest in peace. I can't imagine all the knowledge she had. How old was she?
106.
She's 106, and you interviewed her a year ago. It's almost a third of this country's been around. A year ago, you actually interviewed her, or no?
Well, I did it on her 99th birthday. Yeah, just to talk about because I was like, we all were like, ever since 95, we were like, all right, she's fully cognizant. Let's just start paying attention to every, being more blessed to have her here than just expecting to see her every holiday. So 106, I was like, I didn't think she'd make it to meet my daughter or any of that stuff. So I'm just that's why it was hard for me to
go ahead. Yes,
that's amazing.
It's a really strange thing though that we have these people. We always say that we want experience. I want to, you always watch movies where there's there's young kids in the middle where they don't know what they're doing, and then there's this great pool of people that you can hire.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
They won't. They won't hire them. It's such a strange thing, and I don't.
But is it Mikhail Gorbachev?
I don't understand why.
How do you say Gorbachev?
I don't understand where that comes from.
Well, usually it's just. I mean, I've been in buildings. Let's say for TV stations. A lot of people started hiring instead of reporters who've been experienced and understand how to get the local interviews. They were hiring a lot of MMG.
Yeah, Mikhail.
Meaning you're a reporter, producer in the field.
Right.
And it worked for a little while.
A person with a camera, basically.
Right, and then you saw that the content started looking a little sloppier.
Right.
People stopped watching, and so you see less people trying to do everything all at once, especially for the bigger networks. So you have to balance it. Maybe one of those for every
I loved that when I used to go
so they can teach and learn, bounce off each other. They can stay on the current events as a young person.
It used to be
and the older person.
Just made a loop to that. There's no reason why I can't get it.
Welcome back. In a new court filing, the Department of Justice revealed that it sought the search warrant for former President Trump's residence in Florida after it got evidence that highly classified documents were likely concealed and that Trump's legal team falsely claimed all sensitive material had been returned. They also released this photo from Mar-a-Lago showing a bunch of top secret and classified documents all over the floor. Meantime, the list of documents the FBI recovered from the president's home included some information on the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. There's a lot of speculation now that this information may include intelligence on the French president's sex life. Trump reportedly bragged to some of his aides that he knew illicit details about Macron's love life, and now officials on both sides of the Atlantic want to know if this is what was recovered. Lindsay, what did you think about the photo of the files everywhere, and then what do you think about the sex life of Macron, if that's even an issue?
Right, I definitely think that he shouldn't have those documents. Obviously, we have documents classified for a reason, and people on both sides of the aisle and obviously in other countries now want to know exactly why the search was conducted and what the findings were. But I think when you start talking about people's sex lives and the sex lives of leaders around the country, that's where you have a Fox News talking point. And now everyone's going to say, okay, so we went in President Trump's house in order to see what he had on the sex life of the French president. And it just gets convoluted. And this is what, like, gearing up as we come close to midterms and everything, that narrative that this is all nonsensical and all politically motivated. And so I think that's a tight line when this is the news peg coming out of what happened.
Yeah, you don't want to take it to a point in which it's all now become the P-tape or whatever it is in terms of like everyone can make fun of it like that. Here's the main thing that happened. One, the fact that there were any top secret documents in Mar-a-Lago at all means guilty. Immediately, that should not have been there. Second, if you see top secret on the cover, that's bad. SC1, you can see it if you look closely at the picture. That is like a whole other level of security clearance. No way should that be there. Do you see the SC? Yep. That is, you can't even discuss what's even the subject of that. So let me just say what that means. Yes, Macron could look silly, but it's a bargaining chip. It's leverage. It's something he could use against another country. The other thing is spies, our informants, our allies, they are detailed where they are in those documents. So if you're the party of law and order and the military, you better be against Trump having those laid out because our informants could be dead because of that.
We don't know if Trump laid out those documents.
We don't know.
That could have very well been the FBI laying them out.
Totally,
for
but they were there.
evidence.
Exactly.
Right. What would you say, Al?
Yeah, I don't think that they were on the floor, but I don't think that they were protected. And that's what we want. And, you know, what Tori said is very true. What we're talking about now, when we see a story 6 months from now, a year and a half from now, and it says, you know, one of our ships got hit. One of our secret intels was hit. How did that happen? Well, it's because of things like this. They're not doing these on social media where they're saying, oh, we just sold this for this amount of money to this country. Why would he have that, and who would want that? There's no answer to why he would have that except for financial gain. Let's be honest. I don't think he's keeping it and framing it like a picture of his kids. And the only people that want it would want it for leverage or for nefarious reasons. Those are the only two reasons that it could exist. This is not baseball memorabilia. This is not anything, your old high school letterman's jacket. These are important documents for a reason, and they don't mark things top secret for no reason. Some things are classified erroneously or probably extra, but when you start talking about top secret documents, that's the basis of every movie that we go watch.
Absolutely.
What would James Bond be without taking a top secret document?
Well,
that would be a boring movie if it was just on the floor when he walked in there.
Do you remember House of Cards? If you remember with Kevin Spacey, House of Cards had real life DC consultants, political consultants on there. And when some of those plot lines seemed Tori,
a little too close to home. Yeah.
It happens.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely happens. So coming up on DBL, couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game.
Nice.
Yep, that's coming up next.
Good transition, Sam.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. Some people have a low tolerance for PDA, public display of affection, but others throw your tolerance and their clothes out the window with a public display of, sex.
Sam, you ruined it.
I always do. And a warning to our viewers, you may find some of this content graphic. Check out this couple being intimate at the Toronto Blue Jays game. I'm sorry, I'm trying
Big baseball fan.
I'm not looking at the prompter, I'm looking at the picture.
I get it.
This happened earlier this week where many fans witnessed and recorded the sexual encounter happening in the nosebleed section.
I get it. When you get seats that bad, you got to distract them. You're like, look, we got to do something. I'm sorry.
Okay, as well as the police and security intervention that followed to break it up. And then in Toronto, it wasn't the only place that couples felt comfortable enough to get it on in public. In Ohio, a couple was charged with public indecency, yes, for giving people at an amusement park quite the show.
Which one was it?
145 feet in the air on the giant Ferris wheel. There were multiple witnesses, including minors. See, what would you say? What if Kinsley was down there? Would that bother you?
I don't think she can tell yet.
I would just be caught off guard. I think people need to stop watching so many movies and trying to repeat what happens in the movies. This is real life, and you can actually go to jail. Now, I don't know if I'd be the mom that was super offended with a 1-year-old. I don't think she knows what the heck is going on. Right. But I would be like, shame on you. I would be like, shame on you. Yeah, I would wag my finger for sure.
And I was seeing this story, and I was like, I don't want to kink shame anyone, because what if someone really, their thing is, I might get caught. And then Al, you came up with a great thing. You said it shouldn't interfere with my life.
Thank you, or my kids' life.
Right, that's fair.
And also, the worst thing is this happened on the Ferris wheel.
I know.
So
but who can see?
Those are long. Do you know long? The Ferris wheel is like 11 minutes long. If you're in the car right next to them, you're just awkwardly small talking it up.
What if you're in the car with your grandparents?
Oh my God.
Embarrassing.
Or have to go in next, like you said.
I think we underestimate our grandparents. How you think your parents got here?
But you don't want to be there with your grandparents.
Oh God.
I don't know when are you on a Ferris wheel looking back or at the people around you? How did so many people catch?
Ahead?
Yeah, you're just enjoying the moment. Why are you oh my God? That just seems like you have too much time.
You're forgetting the audio aspect of this as well. So there's
Ow. Okay. Well, while we're on the subject, there were some freaky flyers on a recent Southwest flight to Mexico. The pilot went full dad mode and threatened to turn the plane around if passengers didn't stop sending unsolicited nude photos to other passengers. Take a listen to the pilot's message caught on TikTok.
So here's the deal. This continues while we're on the ground. I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved. And it's vacation that's going to be ruined. So you folks, whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
And of course they're going to Cabo.
Because there's no naked pictures in Cabo. Yes.
An incident like this is actually called cyber flashing and was brought to the attention of the pilot when a passenger received the explicit image and complained to a flight attendant.
There's even stuff on where you can send through the airline. Like messages, and you can send pictures and stuff like that.
I thought that was a weird feature. Yeah. I don't know if they still have that.
Unsolicited pic.
Right. Yeah. And some Good catch. But yeah, you know, I always thought that was a weird feature. I think they've probably taken it away. But there, like in your headrest, there would be, you could play games, you could watch movies, or you could chat with a rando in 23E.
Or you could also send them a drink. Don't minus that portion.
But what if you don't want it?
Somebody can send me a drink anytime on the plane.
I get it.
But yeah, even Drake, I think we did a story where Drake did that. Remember, he sent the girl a picture of herself being like, you look beautiful. And she's like, no, thank you. I think that, yeah, Drake tried to drop this, you know, flashing thing and airdrop it to the woman. And she's like, creepy, please don't do that.
See, my question is, and I don't want to get too serious, but like if you do that, like my daughter has a phone, she's 15. My son has a phone. What if they get it? Is that now
a felony?
Pornography in the hands of a child?
To a minor. Well, a lot of young girls too, you know, we've experienced it as young girls. Like, you know, somebody could innocently think that you're 18 years old and send you a picture, and in fact you're only 14 years old. I know you're concerned about that as a father.
It's terrifying. You know, we talk about on our podcast dying for likes. But you know, parents do have to be concerned because not only do kids have fences, but now that
Tell them what a fence
is a fake Instagram account that you know your kid may have.
I didn't know. I was like, should I get fenced?
So every parent should know that. So, but it's a thing where you know, pornographic materials are being. We're talking about burning and putting away books. I'm like, your kid still has their phone.
Wow.
That's going to be the genesis of a lot of sexual content for them. So I think that's where we need to be focusing.
Agreed. We'll be right back.
Sorry to turn this into an after-school special.
PBS.
I know, right? Come on, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim. So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. We've got a viral video for you. A woman was getting in a late night workout at the gym when she got stuck upside down on the inversion machine. She had to use her smartwatch to call the police. They did show up. Thankfully, there she is. She got turned back upright. Tori, this would happen to you.
It would, and my mom has this machine and it happened to me. And it feels good. It gives traction for your back. But if you don't have the momentum, you're down there. You're just down there.
So this happens often? I could see that happening to a lot of people.
Usually you have the momentum to come back up. If there's an issue, you're stuck.
Did you have to holler for anybody?
I did. Dad! I can't feel my face.
I'm gonna stick with the treadmill.
Yeah, same. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Sharon Stone says a younger man dumped her over not getting Botox, how she's embracing her age even after what he said to her. And we are honoring Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death, how her legacy lives on.
So it's hot outside, and when you get into your car, you turn it on and then look at your dashboard, and sometimes those temperatures can seem a little high. So the question, are car thermometers accurate? Let's verify. Our source is David Underkoffler, editor-in-chief at Autolist.com, and car dealership Earnhardt Lexus.
So the short answer is no, those thermometers are actually not super accurate.
Underkoffler says the reason? Because the sensors are usually close to the ground. Earnhardt Lexus states most sensors are near the front bumper. So if the sun is beating down on the front bumper, then the temperature may appear higher.
So if your car has been parked on something like asphalt or blacktop for a while, there's a lot of heat radiating up off that surface into that sensor.
It will usually cool down when you start to drive, but Underkoffler says the most important reason to take these temps with a grain of salt is not when it's hot, but when it's cold outside.
The time you need to remember that this isn't an accurate reading is in the winter. If you're out driving and the temperature is hovering right around freezing, just because it doesn't say freezing on your temperature gauge, it may actually really be freezing in reality. So just adjust your driving accordingly.
Temperature readings vary from car to car depending on the make and the model and where the sensor is. So we can verify that no, car temperatures are not exactly accurate and can differ a few degrees from the actual air temperature. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.
Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
No.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Full table over here. We got Lindsay Granger joining
What's
us.
going on, guys?
Yes, and yes, you'll also see we've got our very own British insider, Stephanie Jones, joining the panel today.
Yes, baby.
Looking good. Well, today's a very important day. That's because today marks 25 years since Princess Diana's death. But before we get the inside scoop from Steph, let's take a look back at Diana's remarkable life.
There was so much attention on me when I first arrived on the scene, and I had so many people watching me.
Before becoming the People's Princess, she was a 19-year-old nanny on the path to be queen. An astonishing 750 million people in 74 countries watch her walk down the aisle.
You're not worried about that 3.5-minute walk?
No, I go along with everybody else.
She becomes the pillar of both beauty and kindness.
The lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't.
Teaching her young sons to lead with their heart.
It was that love that even if she was on the other side of a room, that you, as a son, you could feel it.
But after 15 years of marriage, the royal couple separates. The press hounds her every move.
I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life.
Then, in 1997, the world watches as the unthinkable happens.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Devastation sweeps the globe. It's been 25 years since Princess Diana's death, but for some, it's a wound that will never heal.
I do regularly put in George or Charlotte to bed, talk about her, and just try and remind her that there are two grandmothers. There were two grandmothers in their lives.
Yeah, I have no doubt that my mum would be incredibly proud of me. I'm living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed ourselves where lives were torn apart.
Oh my gosh. Just think of her as a mom or a mum, as you would say. What was it like when Princess Diana died in England 25 years ago, and what were the days like following that?
Well, first of all, I just want to make sure you guys are okay, because I can see you're all welling up. I'm like, are you guys okay?
And you see two young kids losing their mom early, like at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I think that's what resonated with most people, whether you were British or whether you're here in America. Like, she was only 36 years old. Think about that, so young, leaving behind two young boys that are not in the normal everyday household. They're very much in the public eye, living their lives on full display, no privacy for mourning, having to obviously follow their mum's funeral car. You can't imagine it. But I just remember it being horrendously sad. Everybody was crying as if it was their mother, their auntie, their sister. It was really devastating news that shocked not only England, but obviously rippled all the way to America and other parts of the Commonwealth too, you know?
And what about the days after? Do you remember like talking to family members, or like what was like almost like the ambiance out in the streets?
Everyone was genuinely
Steph, I wonder,
so
like, what did your parents do? Like, what were they?
I think my mum was just, I think everyone was just more shocked, because you've got to think, this was a princess. How did this happen to a princess? Someone untouchable in everyday life, so to speak. You know, you see these figures on television, but this isn't just a celebrity. This is a member of the royal family. Well, she obviously wasn't a royal at the time, but she was still the Princess of Wales. So it's almost shocking, like, how could this happen to her? Someone, like I said, untouchable, whose life they're living in palaces, they're traveling all over the world. How can this happen to them? So utter disbelief, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about today in England. How are people celebrating, mourning, dealing? What is it like today in England 25 years later?
Yeah, so people still will go to Kensington Palace and they will leave out wreaths, they'll leave flowers, they'll leave artwork, and they'll also do that in Paris at the site in which Diana passed away too. At the tunnel, yes, exactly, Tori. So, but what you need to remember is this is coming from, let's say, fans or the general public. This is not coming from the royal family. So the royal family 5 years ago said that they were going to mourn Diana now in private after the 20-year anniversary. And I think, in all honesty, that's fair for William and Harry, because to go through that publicly over and over again, it must be really traumatic, really traumatic.
And as Americans, we were always told that Diana changed the monarchy. But we've seen recent events that maybe says it didn't change that much. What do you feel about it?
So, I honestly think, I'm so proud to be British, and I'm very proud of the royal family. What they've done for charities, for the Commonwealth, it's absolutely unbelievable. And they live a life of service to another level, where their personalities and their private thoughts and feelings are behind the door, and you see this perfectly poised, put together person that doesn't show emotion, that is the backbone of the country, that people look to for leadership. And I think that Diana definitely broke that mold when her and Charles separated. She wanted a voice, and she definitely gave it to the public. She gave an insider look at a time where we didn't have social media, you know, and she started giving open interviews to different paparazzi, to different news outlets, which, I mean, unfortunately led to, I think, that barrier then blurred from someone untouchable to I have access to you, to the point where the paparazzi literally chased her to her death. So it's very sad.
Steph, you said to me one time that you said that you thought that Diana was going to eventually move to the U.S. And
Is that true?
Well, you said you thought that. It was rumor.
Rumors.
And so, like, let's saying that things were different and she did actually move to the U.S. Do you think that would have made it easier for Meghan's transition?
You know, possibly, but I think definitely Diana and Harry and Meghan are of the same ilk in the sense that they don't fit into that form of a lifestyle, which, like I said, we have a lot of freedom that they simply, as royal members of the family, do not have. And I think that's something that we need to really remember. These aren't the Kardashians that are putting their life on full display, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a completely different world with completely different levels of respect and responsibility.
Sacrifice, yeah.
And it really is a sacrifice. Yeah. And obviously, unless you're willing to live that lifestyle, which is a huge sacrifice, and like Meghan and Harry, they chose to leave. And I think Diana wanted to leave. And, you know, I don't think the royal family liked that. It's a bit of a disgrace, let's be honest. And I think, yeah, she probably did want to move away. And would that have made it easier? Most likely, yes.
Wow. Steph, thank you. But before we let you go, we got a big old congrats.
Yeah, we do.
Recently got engaged. We could not be happier for you. There you are. We got a picture. Yay! Look at her. Fiance. So tell us all about your engagement. And is it fun saying fiance now?
It's really weird. I keep saying it to him all the time. I'm like, fiance. It's really strange. But no, it was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I know lots of you guys have met him, and he is just so wonderful. I'm really, really lucky, and I am so excited to get married. Genuinely, so
excited. He's lucky to have you as well, Steph.
Yes,
he's very lucky.
Honestly, like Steph and I go back. I feel like we're close, and you're the homie. And you know, I've been with you since day one. And I remember when you met Roche, and she kept saying, "There's a friend picking me up." I was like, "You got a car?
A friend?
What's your
it's like you're telling your parents."
And so, you know, I'm big brother, so I'm like, I got to meet him. We went to lunch, and I was like, oh, this is not only a friend of Steph, but like to me as well. And like he looks at you the way that I want somebody to look at a woman that I love as a person.
Very sweet.
And like I'm so happy for you guys. You guys are just meant to be together.
Look how they're glowing.
I know.
Like that's what happiness looks like.
Yes, you just have to unfollow Steph on Instagram.
There was a heavy, like, you know, sunsetty filter thing going on there.
I was so excited when you sent us the video, but it had no audio. So I was just watching it quietly in silence, and I'm like, are you engaged?
I was literally like, I need to tell everyone at DBL, and I recorded this video, and I sent it, and Lindsay was like, Steph, there's no audio. And I was in Florence, I had no idea. I was like, oh no.
I was like, is there a ring? What is she saying?
Well, at the end, she goes, and so I'm like, I think she's trying to say she's engaged.
I think Bert, our executive producer, even came in and was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I thumbs up it, and he said like, good morning or something, and I was like, oh no, I didn't really do a good job explaining.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Happy for y'all.
And Steph, you're sticking around.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Coming up on DBL, Sharon Stone is talking about how she got dumped by a younger guy over not getting Botox. And Leonardo DiCaprio is single for the first time in 4 years. We're talking all about that split coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stop by. We're taking over. We made all this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Everyone's saying congratulations to Steph and Roche.
Tell everybody how they met. I mean, how he asked.
No, do you want to say how you asked? It's really special.
Oh, no, he was really sweet. We were on a private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. It was absolutely beautiful. And all my family were there, all my best friends were there.
Isn't that how you want to get engaged?
It was pretty amazing.
That's how every person would want to get engaged. An island in the Mediterranean, your entire family is there.
Right.
It's sunny. I love this man. He loves me.
Like, he literally went all out and then some. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
That's so awesome.
But anyone who knows Roche, though, knows he is incredibly extra. So
and he thinks
the best way.
In the best way.
In the best way.
Did you ever think when you moved to Denver, maybe someone already asked you, I didn't hear, I was talking, but did you ever think that you'd find your person here?
No.
In Denver, Colorado?
No. Honestly, like, so genuinely, my whole life, I've always been like, I don't believe in marriage and I don't want to get married. My whole life. And I tell you what, it's so silly, and it sounds like a crazy thing to say. And when literally, it's the silliest thing. But Richey's very traditional, and he massively believes in that. And he's like, no, it's, you know, how it should be. And this is so embarrassing to say that this is what made it click, but weird things happen, right? So, you know on Sex and the City, where Carrie comes home and Big dies?
Yeah.
I was literally watching it and I was horrified. And I actually went to therapy over it. I was that distraught.
Oh, it traumatized you?
It traumatized me. And I literally was like, if anything ever happened to either Richey and I didn't be married to that person, it would be the biggest regret of my entire life. Because literally even before then, Richey was like saying, you know, oh, I really, you know, and I was like, oh, maybe, you know. But like when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I would forever regret it.
When you're married to someone, you have those rights.
Yep.
You go to the hospital.
Definitely.
Welcome back. We're looking at some celebrity breakup stories people are talking about, including our viewers. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo, and model Camila Morrone have reportedly broken up after more than 4 years together. Oh, Tori's very upset about it. The two had been linked since December of 2017, and she had just turned 25 in June. The breakup also means Leo keeps his track record of never dating anyone over the age of 25. Yeah. Leo, who is 47, also dated Giselle for 5 years, but then broke up with her when she was 23. And he also dated model Bar Raffaelli in the mid-2000s, but they broke up when she hit the big old 25. In fact, from the age of 24 to 47, all of Leo's past girlfriends, including Blake Lively, have been between the ages of 21 and 25 when they broke up. So do you think Leo has a dating expiration date, Lindsay? You're laughing at the graph. What's going on?
Graph, someone took the time out. That's the funny part.
Everyone read it.
Yeah, but I just think, I think about the 25-year-old me, and like, you know nothing about anything, even though you think you know everything. So I'm just imagining like a 47-year-old man being like, sure, yeah, between 21 and 25 is the only mindset that I want. I love Leo, but it made me have like a side eye. Like, people are so young. They're adults, but at least if I'm relating to myself, I don't think I was grown enough to be like in a serious committed relationship. So obviously, I feel like that's a little bit what he's looking for, someone who's just like fun.
Mm-hmm. I was literally saying to these guys earlier, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. He can do whatever he wants and he can have whoever he wants. And, you know, I mean, it's on him, isn't it? At the end of the day, is he going to find true love and real happiness? Probably not, but I don't think he can.
I don't think he is either. I used to work at the club where Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio would come frequent, and let me tell you, girls would be lined up.
I can imagine.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And so if they're lined up, they're agreeing to this kind of weird power dynamic he has.
It's
and there's definitely a power dynamic working here. I think that he likes to definitely be in control. Obviously, financially, he's doing better. And just having 21 years of experience over somebody, there's just always going to be that power dynamic. And I think if he was to date somebody much older than 25, which sounds weird to say, I think that would be a much different relationship, and I don't think he has any experience in that relationship.
No, I don't think he does.
He has experience with 23-years-olds, not 33-year-olds.
A kid at heart, because he started so young in the industry. Did it stunt him? Because he's only attracted to really young
models.
Yeah, I don't think that's a weird thing to be attracted to. Some kind of weird kink. I'm attracted to 20-year-old models.
Weird. But I feel like once you hit like 30, I don't know, everybody else can say, it's like the no comes way easier, like with no regret. And so at 25, the no is like, should I say no? Right. And so they're like, you want to go to France? You want to do this? It's like, yeah. And like the life is probably about Leo versus 30.
You're right.
I want to do what I want to do.
There's no challenge.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. In keeping up with our breakup theme, Sharon Stone revealed that she was dumped by a younger man for refusing to get Botox. Speaking to Vogue Arabia, Sharon, who is 64, said she was recently in a relationship with a younger man, but then he asked if she used Botox. Sharon told him, quote, "It would probably be really good for your ego and mine if I did, but after one more date, she never saw him again." She said, if a guy doesn't see her for more than her looks, then please find your way to the exit. Sharon revealed that she has used Botox in the past, but stopped after she needed it to even out her face after a stroke and a brain hemorrhage. Steph, how would you feel if a man pushed you into getting like cosmetic procedures?
Well, I think that's never okay for anyone, man or woman, friend, anybody. It should be no one's place to say what you should and shouldn't do with your body, especially your looks. If it's not health related, don't even get involved.
Yep.
And even at that point, it shouldn't be up to anyone else to make your decisions for you. I mean, I love Botox.
Me too.
We should just end the segment right there.
Just love. This is the most my face has ever been able to move in a seriously long amount of time. I'm really looking forward to getting into my injector. But yeah, that's on me, isn't it? And I love it.
But then that brings up.
You wouldn't like your man to say you need to go get Botox.
Oh, no. Nor would he. I think he's like, oh, why? This is like really silly.
But what if somebody, what if somebody knows you and they're like, oh my God, Steph's Botox was so good, and innocently they recommend it to me? I can't be so mad if they're a close person in my life that's just saying, I saw somebody look really good.
But what if it was Colin who did it?
Yeah, but I would stay with Colin. She kicked him to the curb. I would be like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, but I don't think people should be commenting, you know. They shouldn't be like, oh, you should change your hair. Oh, you should do this. You should lose weight. You should do. You shouldn't be doing that.
It was an immature thing to say, but that's what happens when you're dating super young people.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some assumed risk when you start a relationship with somebody 20 years younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good for Instagram and like, oh, look how young and beautiful they are and look what's still attracted to me. It's basically like a show off. Like, look what I can still pull, basically.
Do you feel that
and I
way
think
as a
she
man,
should have
though?
known.
Like, as a man, can a woman tell you who you're dating, tell you like how to change your looks? Would that offend you, or do you appreciate it?
I would probably be hurt by it realistically, but I mean, I'm sure if a 22-year-old was dating me, she'd be like, ooh, gray hair in the sink. You know, like, because she's used to dating younger guys. Like, you don't want an old guy with old man medicine on the counter.
We just don't want hair in the sink.
Yeah,
regardless.
just clean it up.
Thank you.
Oh, I clean up
that.
after. I don't leave
hair
my
in the basin.
Oh, the basin.
Yeah, you gotta clean that
When they
up.
shave the beard in the basin, I almost one time told Mark to put a shopping bag over his ear.
Like a trough?
No.
Yeah, so
Like
it caught the beard hair. So it caught the beard hair.
And he feels like a fool to start the day.
He didn't, you know, Mark.
No, we should do a whole segment about things.
He did it? Oh.
No, Mark dances to the beat of his own drum. I can't say anything. Madonna says her biggest regret was her 2 marriages. Madonna was married to Sean Penn from 1985 to 1989, and she married director Guy Ritchie in 2000, but they divorced 8 years later. So in a video on YouTube, Madonna revealed her current obsession is sex.
What a surprise.
And if she hadn't become the queen of pop, get this, she would have become a school teacher. Does that surprise you, Tori?
No, she went to University of Michigan, Go Blue. That's my alma mater. And she was a dancer, and I could totally see her being a dance teacher or an art teacher. She's very communicative. She's very out there. Teachers aren't always buttoned up. Al was a teacher. I mean, they can be funny.
Literally anybody off the street could do it. I didn't know I was going to be worked into the Madonna story. But yeah, I mean, I think having a young Madonna, teaching would be a cool thing for young women. But at the same time, I don't know if I buy that.
Oh, that she would have been a teacher.
I don't know. I think that's good. I think her publicist is like, say you want to be a teacher with an apple and a sweater vest. There was nothing about Madonna in the early 80s that said I could have been a teacher.
point of Madonna with an apple and like come on.
But I feel like fame like exaggerates who you are, and she ruffles people's feathers for a living.
She provokes.
And so she would have definitely ruffled enough parents' feathers that it would have been an issue. Yeah. I mean, we're having conversations about school teachers recently, attire.
Yeah.
Madonna would have been the one.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with it. I'm just saying she definitely would have ruffled some
But I think as a dance teacher at Michigan, she could have been cool. Vogue it.
But all right.
She was a fantastic dancer.
Yeah,
she still is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Louts tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. The biggest plus to working out is good health, but the downside can be muscle soreness. So should you soothe your pain with a warm compress or just cool it down with a little ice pack, huh, Al? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. Experts say that ice can reduce pain and inflammation by decreasing blood flow to the affected area and is best for severe or acute pain like strained muscles. However, heat can soothe and heal muscles by increasing blood flow and is better for chronic pain or injuries. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefit have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users.
I'm all three.
And Al is all three. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. We'll be right back.
You're not an athlete.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. First, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to some of our viewers. Highland Elementary School, Ryan Henderson.
Yes. No way.
In fact, I believe Principal Henderson.
Excuse us.
Yo. Yep. And then also his father, Leo Henderson. Leo is out of Kent, Washington, and then Principal Henderson out of Lake Stevens. Thank you for watching. We love you guys.
Yes. There's so many different memes going around about teachers' first days, and it's so beautiful to see, like, one guy dropped his notebook and was like, I'll wait for the class to stop speaking.
Wow.
And I'm like, I remember I used to be the person that made them say I'll wait.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was like class clown. I had a best friend that was always in my class.
I can't believe they didn't move you guys. I would first day I would be like, oh, Steph and Lindsay are friends. Okay,
Yeah.
Steph, you're over there. Lindsay, you are down the hall to the right. Like I separated friends.
Yeah.
He's quick.
Or else they're stuck in Principal Henderson's office.
That's right.
So
Right.
watch out. We have a lot of comments. Stewie says, Sam, Al, Tori, Lindsay, and Steph, best panel of the summer.
Oh.
Marissa says, congrats on the engagement, Steph.
Thank you.
And
Very
S.
kind.
Purpose says, I have always and will always love Madonna. She's my queen.
There you go.
I feel like a crime boss with my agents around me.
Okay. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how